And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. I am John, and with me as always, Tyler.
Hey, I'm here too.
And
it's my house.
It is your apartment.
My old house. My old apartment.
Your old apartment.
The old stomping grounds.
By the time you're hearing this, he's still living in that apartment.
For another 2 months.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was February. That's actually shocking. I thought it was going to be much sooner than that.
We're going to try... So technically our lease is up in February, and we're not allowed to vacate before then.
I see.
In terms of the lease.
So you don't want to put anything on recording saying otherwise?
No, we're going to stay here. I feel, honestly, the cats are the biggest thing, like moving the cats.
Getting them adjusted.
Yeah. Ironically, we're like, all right, we'll just take their little cat perch tree thing. I don't know if you notice, it's like 2 feet shorter.
Yeah, it looks a little shorter.
Yeah, Superman jumped on it and it just snapped.
Uh-oh.
Had that thing for less than a year.
Wow.
Immediately bought a new one because we want them to get like used to it here and then take it to the new place. It's going to be a big adjustment for them.
Why do cats have like trees and stuff? I don't. They
love it, man.
Jumping in high places.
That we're looking at it for the audience. So it's like a normal cat tree, right? Like they don't have front claws, so like the scratching posts kind of don't really matter.
But they have front claws. They got removed.
They got removed. Yeah, we have Superman. I think already had them removed, and Merlin and Morgana had them.
Is that a common procedure?
It's common. It's frowned upon. A lot of people don't like that.
Don't like that. Yeah.
But so we aren't allowed to have cats with like claws, right? Like that's one of the things is like they have to be declawed.
At the apartment.
Yeah, at least it was 5 years ago. I wonder, given the climate of cat declawing, if people are.
I didn't know that was a big issue. I didn't even know
it was a thing.
I've never had a cat.
Regardless, it's like okay, well, Merlin and Morgana were just outside, right? So it's just like they were, we brought them in. So either they could be living outside with claws or living in paradise in a cat tree without them. They seemed fine, yeah. They were like they got kind of fixed into clawed and did it, like all that stuff, and they were like they shouldn't be doing this, but they were like jumping like literally the next day. Yeah, the way that the vet was very good. What was I talking about? Oh, the cat tree broke, and I don't know. They love sleeping in it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's a cat. There's like a hammock.
I don't get it. Wow, they're spoiled.
Chelsea did not think that they would use the hammock.
Yeah,
they use the hammock. Yeah, I'm vindicated.
Exclusively.
Yeah, that's Merlin's spot.
Okay,
so he uses that exclusively. Superman was the top rung, so now he wrecked that thing.
You should get like a little phone booth for Superman.
Yeah,
too cliche.
That'd be cool. He has a little
Fortress of Solitude.
That would be cooler.
That'd be it'd be more expensive.
Yeah, well, so that's part of it is we're going to see. Obviously, we have a new tree coming, but then ideally in the new place, we actually build like a artful jungle gym type thing along the walls.
Dude, cats are so much, man.
Yeah,
they're so. You just need like a little mat for a dog.
I mean, cats.
Be happy.
Technically, cats would be the same thing. I just feel bad because we're going from every inch of this place is carpeted. Yeah. Aside from the bathrooms.
Right.
And they actually carpet bathrooms. Like certain people carpet bathrooms. That's gross.
Isn't that? Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah. But isn't that like an older thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not anymore.
No.
They realize people pee on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Wait a second. There's a little design flaw. Well, your kitchen's not carpeted either.
Fair enough. Yeah. The little bit of the kitchen. But anyway, now our entire place is going to be that like premium vinyl stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to take to that. That's going to be interesting.
You're going to be sliding all over the place?
Yeah, just tearing it up with their claws. Back claws.
Back claws. They still got the rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
Little car joke for you. Did you like that?
Yeah, I have a rear wheel.
I have a rear wheel drive. No, you don't. Probably
Do I
not. No.
I just have front?
Yes. Oh. Most likely.
All right, that's weird.
What do you have, a Honda?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a front wheel drive. But if you get your new Toyota GR86.
Yeah, well.
That's rear wheel.
I'm spending, so.
Oh, yeah.
We actually haven't talked about the house too much. We keep saying like, hey, you got one. Like, yeah. And then we go off track.
Yeah.
Speaking of track, so we're the office downstairs. I took the basement. It's the biggest room of the, like not living room, but you know what I mean? Like, it's one of the biggest rooms. So now I have like the office section. We're going to have a dedicated podcasting section, so we'll keep it up the whole time, which is awesome. So I don't have to tear down anything and everything and all that jazz.
Now we just have to work on me not having to commute. And
sound treated. Yeah, you can just live there.
Yeah.
But we're putting track lighting up, and it's the light bulbs, because I'm putting hue lights in, are 1,200 lumens a piece. And I got 6 of them.
That's a lot of photons.
It's so many photons.
Is that actually photon volume?
I don't think
know.
so.
No?
I don't know.
It has to be, right? What else with brightness? I might be
lumens.
wrong. Oh, lumens is brightness.
Lumens is brightness.
Well, lumens is the measurement of brightness.
Correct.
But that's not actually...
Oh, you're talking like the actual light.
Yeah, photons are a thing,
like an
right?
actual light. Yeah. Okay.
So
it's a lot of... Yes.
Does more photons equal brighter? That's what I would assume, right?
I would like to know if sunlight coming... Because I do have one window down there.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. It's a basement, right? So like it's not a lot of light. I wonder if daylight... Like what's the ratio? How much daylight... How many photons are in daylight versus the lumens?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
We had a lot of applicants for the research department. So one of them, maybe that's their first test.
Did we? Yeah.
Right,
How many did we get?
Oh, we had like a dozen.
Dozen.
At least.
A baker's dozen?
Baker's dozen.
That's
no,
13.
Technically, it's like a child baker's dozen, which is 11.
Okay.
So
I'd never heard that expression.
I made it up right now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but anyway, so the hue lights are like friggin' $300 for that stuff. But they're gonna look sick.
Those are like those streamer lights, right?
I guess. Yeah.
I know
it's
you
like
don't
smart
want to
home
be
lights. I don't want to be associated with the streamers, but yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
That's a past life. Anyway.
Well, so it's pouring out here right now.
Yeah, it's miserable.
I had a great segue queued up, but then you went on about your home.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm just very excited about it.
I'm excited for you, dude.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'll be spending just as much time there as you.
We're gonna have like the whiteboard up. We're gonna have there will be a dedicated workspace to do whatever we want to.
We've been talking about doing a visual component now that we have a dedicated space to the podcast.
I'm gonna have 2 bookshelves, and I don't know if I'm just buying bookcases from like Wayfair or if we're gonna make them custom. But we're gonna have that, and then all of our top 5s will have some sort of memorabilia related to all the different top 5s we've done.
Yeah.
That's
what we talked about, right?
Some of them will be easy.
Yeah.
Some of them will be like, how do you show mushrooms?
Well, I was thinking like a pizza box.
Yeah. Just, I mean, we'll
it doesn't have to be right on the nose, right?
Yeah. It'll be cool.
Tasteful. Yeah.
It'll be
but we'd have to get like a small and
something. I mean, you go to like Blaze or something and get a little pizza box.
Not Blaze. You know, Dave gave Blaze a 0.
Yeah, because he's
who's LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron likes it.
He hates LeBron. I think LeBron either owns it or is part owner.
Yeah,
invested in it, and they got some beef.
It's funny because he was like, I'm not biased, I'm professional, and then just throws it on the ground.
Dude, the funniest one was when it was quarantine, and he was doing like all these frozen pizzas because obviously he couldn't go out and do real pizzas, so they came out with their own pizza. And
oh, really?
He did a review on his. Yeah, they came out their own frozen pizza, like Barstool frozen pizza or One Bite pizza or whatever. And he comes out and he's like, "Okay, totally unbiased because I'm a professional."
Yeah.
And he takes a bite and he's like, "Unbiased score, 10." And then everyone freaks out, so he does another one. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to do another round here." Everyone was freaking out. I want to ensure everyone that this is unbiased, and he does the whole thing. Takes a bite. He's like, 9-9 unbiased score, frozen pizza scale. It was so funny. And then he did like a third video where he had like a little mustache and was like, "This guy told me to try this pizza."
Oh, so he's like,
gave it a 10.
That's very funny. Nice. That's pretty good.
I've never had it. I've tried to find it. I think it's in Walmart or something, but I really want to try.
Good food, man.
Walmart's great.
Kyle gets all his stuff there, and it's always great.
I just saw a video where apparently Shaq loves Walmart. You know, the basketball player.
Yeah, he spent like
$50,000 because I guess he bought a new house or something.
Yep, and they canceled his card or something, right?
His card got declined or something. Yeah. Oh,
that's
man.
great.
Were we talking about that?
I don't think so, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I just heard that story. I was like, imagine being such a baller, dude, where you just not renovate, but you decorate your house in one night a trip to Walmart.
There's like a TikTok or a YouTube video I watched that. Yeah,
it's a legendary story.
Yeah,
I mean, Shaq's a beast. But anyways, it's pouring outside right now, and I had an amazing segue queued up.
Okay,
because I had a dream last night about driving my car, and it was pouring.
Yeah,
and I was like doing all these drifts and shit, and it was like crazy.
Can you drift with rear
wheel drive? Yeah, well, yeah, it's preferable
to drift.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can with front, but it's extremely difficult.
Drifting is different than just fishtailing uncontrollably.
No, not really. It's controlled fishtailing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, can you fishtail if you have the rear wheels
going?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how you get control, because the power comes from the rear.
Yeah.
And your car swings out, so when it locks up, that's how you can get back on track. Whereas the front wheels it's harder to get your traction back, because your back end is the part that's moving. Okay. You know what I mean? So the energy is coming from the rear.
I guess that makes sense, the way you're motioning.
I'm not describing it well, but I promise you.
I trust you. Between the two of us, you would know better.
Yeah, it's me or the cats. Yes. Unless Chelsea's here.
No, she went drinking with her buddies.
Oh, man, I wish I could go drinking with my buddies.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What do you mean?
I love it when people say wow, but like with an Owen Wilson thing.
Yeah.
It's wow.
Dude, Owen Wilson is an enigma, actually. Yeah. So can we just talk about this?
I love how... Do you talk about... What's your dream? You're just fishtailing around?
Oh, yeah. So I'm fishtailing around. Yeah. And it was funny because like I'm on the roads like 10 minutes ago, and I did not have that confidence.
Okay, I got you.
It's very different.
It's weird. You were wearing like aviators as you were doing it.
Well, my brother was in the passenger seat, and he's like freaking out. He's like, John, you got to slow down. I'm like, fuck that. And I'm like...
Never tell me the odds.
Fast and furious. Yeah. Like just so crazy. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I was pretty cool, dude. In real life, I'm not that cool. Which
I don't
is
know, man.
sad.
I think you're pretty. Thanks, pretty cool.
You think I'm pretty?
You're pretty.
Period?
Pretty and cool.
Oh, wow. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Pretty, comma.
Pretty, comma, cool.
Pretty, comma, cool.
Yeah.
That could be a band.
Pretty, comma, cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a song. Maybe it's more of a song.
Yeah.
Pretty, comma, cool.
We'll add that to the list of what we do.
But the comma is not spelled out. It's not spelled out. It's just a comma, but you pronounce it when you... That would be like our little thing for the song.
Cool. Yeah.
Like 100 years from now, they'd be like, did you actually know that it's pronounced pretty comical?
Whenever we're famous.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that sick RPG that the Couch Company made? Well, they also wrote a song. That was like that would be cool. That'd be like a secret
song
thing.
in the
RPG
game.
idea. Yeah. One of the bards makes a game called Pretty Comma Cool.
Makes a song called Pretty Comical. Yeah.
Or we spell it weird, and that's his name.
Pretty comical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Gabagool.
Gabagool.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that show?
No.
Oh, damn. Such a good show. Anyways, what were you saying?
I have no idea. We're just trying to get as many topics as possible.
Well, I was
5-minute
drifting.
segment.
And then Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
The Enigma.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, Lightning McQueen. I just think the more I watched that movie, the more I realized it was just so totally poorly cast. I know everyone loves him as Lightning McQueen, but Lightning McQueen's supposed to be like really cocky.
Yeah.
And Owen Wilson's just not.
Yeah. That's why it's so awesome, because in the movie he is. Lightning McQueen is cocky.
For like the first movie. That's why the first one's the best one.
Well, yeah.
Then he becomes like
name
a softie.
Name a Pixar movie that was better in the second round.
Aladdin.
A Pixar movie? I would love to see Pixar do Aladdin.
What's the difference? Isn't that the same shit?
Pixar?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? No.
It's like the same. It's Disney. It's all Disney.
I don't think Pixar does get Aladdin. I don't think it's possible.
You're probably right.
I'm the most biased person in the world for that.
Well, dude, no. The live action was terrible.
Yeah.
Pixar movie better than the second one. Fuck. I mean, it's not going to be better. Incredibles 2 wasn't bad, though.
Wasn't good.
It was good.
It was.
It's not as good as the first. Like the
the
bar is too high.
That is my thesis.
The bar is too high, man.
Name the best sequel of a Disney movie.
They don't have a lot of sequels.
They have tons of sequels.
Name None 5.
Of them, Lion King 2, Aladdin 2.
Lion King 2. Lion King's not Pixar.
Well, yeah, okay. Toy Story. Fine. I'm sorry. Incredibles 2, Toy Story 2, Cars 2,
Toy Story 2 is the closest.
Sure.
I think it might be. It's my favorite.
It's better, my favorite, but it's close.
It's my favorite.
Sure.
2 is my favorite.
If you even think the Toy Story is okay.
I know you got fucked up as a child. But for the rest of us, Tyler, we like those movies because they're good.
They're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad movies. I'm just saying in the breadth of assortment that is Disney/Pixar movies, I don't think Toy Story makes the top. I don't think Toy Story make the top 10
in Pixar movies.
In Disney/Pixar movies.
You're out of your fucking mind. That is insane.
In top 10?
Yes.
Right,
top 5 even.
Aladdin 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Aladdin 3 wasn't bad, but it's not good.
It's top 10.
It's not top 10. I promise.
I told you I'm biased. I don't know what you want.
It's true.
Yeah.
You got to be a little more restrained, man. You got to look at things from a neutral lens.
I think Beauty and the Beast is better than Toy Story. I think Lion King is better. Obviously, Aladdin. I personally would actually take Aladdin 1.
I think Aladdin might. Well, that's ridiculous.
Aladdin 2 is ridiculous. I agree with
Aladdin
that.
2's not good.
Yeah, you're right.
Aladdin 2's actually bad.
You're right, except Iago makes that movie.
Sure.
That movie is so predicated on his story arc. It has nothing to do with Aladdin. Like it does, but it's really not.
No,
it's Iago's movie.
Right.
Which is insane.
I'm with you. He saves the movie from being dog shit.
Yeah.
But it's still bad.
Well, I mean, it's not great.
It's not good. It's not even good.
Yeah, I'm struggling now. I think I'd probably put Toy Story 1 on the top 10.
It has to be. That's just absurd if Toy Story's not in the top 10.
I think Monsters Inc.'s better. I think Incredibles is better. I think Cars is better.
Okay, Cars definitely not better. Incredibles, very good.
Incredibles is
Monsters Inc.'s very good too, but I think Toy Story's better. You're wrong. I mean, it's crazy. I know you hate Finding Nemo. You probably wouldn't even put that in the top 10, which is crazy.
Yeah, probably not.
I just don't know how I discuss. We always talk about Disney, and I don't know why I keep beating my head.
Finding Nemo was supposed to be like the second coming of Christ, the way people were talking about it. When I finally watched it, it was like, oh.
It's so good, though. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's not
It's
a
a father
bad movie.
looking for his child. You know that gets me.
Yeah, you're a mark for family things.
Family.
I should care
That's
about
why the
family
Fast
more.
and Furious is probably the greatest franchise of all time. Name me a better one. You just can't do it.
Oh man, you know what? I probably for you probably can't. Here's the thing.
All right,
this is what bugs me. We'll spend 2 seconds on it and then we'll move on.
We probably won't, but
No. You love family so much.
Yeah.
Freaking watch Peaky Blinders.
that's the thing.
That is the whole whole thing.
Understand that I'm gonna love this show.
You don't understand.
I do understand it.
Okay.
That's why. Don't you ever get that? Like something's hyped up so much that it makes you not want to watch it.
Yes.
Even though you know in the back of your mind that this is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, that was Firefly. And then I watched Firefly. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. They canceled it. This is stupid.
Yep.
And then I still fell in love with it.
Firefly, I think it's in the top 30 on IMDb.
That's insane. But
I might have said that. That might be the 5th time me saying that on this podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't care. That
it
still gets me.
A couple.
It gets me every time.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what I've never even heard of Firefly until I met you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't even know what it's about.
Oh, well, that's probably best to go in blind.
Completely blind. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Peaky Blinders, got to watch that. I actually saw.
Where's that on IMDb? That's got to be up there.
No.
Really?
Didn't I tell you something crazy? Like fucking.
Like MASH is higher than Peaky Blinders
something.
or something.
Yeah, hold up. I literally did this like 10 episodes ago.
Yeah, we do this every other.
Where I tell you, but I have to keep reminding myself.
If we had a dedicated research department, it would be just easy. Dude, I don't know why I'm slurring my words already. Like I haven't started drinking.
Because you just handed me what I thought was a glass of water, actually just straight vodka. Yeah.
It's very smooth.
What?
The vodka in the
You think
water.
so?
Yeah. Not really. I don't know.
Do you like vodka?
Yeah, I would say vodka is probably my drink of choice. If I had to pick something, isn't it
tequila now?
No, I hate tequila.
Dude, but the pool tequila.
Pool tequila, yeah, no, it's. I think everything about that was you needed to have that the pool with the tequila. Take the pool away, the tequila's garbage.
I see. So the pool is the catalyst.
I think so.
Tequila.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders 76.
Oh, that's just.
This is what I say every time.
Go ahead,
Dragon Ball Z 70. That's what I say every time, and it gets you every time.
Oh, that's
Dragon Ball Z is better than Peaky Blinders. It is.
Oh, it feels so bad.
Dragon Ball Z defined a generation of kids.
Yep.
Okay? Yeah. Peaky Blinders did not.
Do we want to pour one out for Ash Ketchum? Speaking of defining a generation for kids, he finally won. He's the Pokemon champ.
He won?
World champ. Yeah, he finally won.
Is he still 12?
I don't know.
How cool would it have been if he actually aged and he's like an adult now?
It would be cool. He didn't. And
I know. Yeah.
Kevin Cox, friend of the show, did. Between. So I'm on Twitter. We'll talk. Actually, we should talk about Twitter in a second. But he said that if every episode was like a day or something like that, he would, I think, quoted like 3 years. It took Ash 3 years to to get it, like 1,000 episodes or whatever.
That's not bad, right?
No, that's fantastic.
Champion of the world.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's fantastic.
He beat Lance with the Pikachu beat a Charizard, which
Lance has a Charizard.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of the Pokemons. Two Pokemon games ago. The new Pokemon's coming out in like a week.
I know who Charizard is.
No, I know. What I'm saying, I'm sorry, I'm jumping topics. What I'm saying is Ash won the championship by using his Pikachu. He beat a Charizard.
Who is the champion?
Lance.
Okay, so yeah,
from
Lance.
2 Pokemon games ago, Lance was the main guy. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So 2 Pokemon games ago, you had to beat the champion of the world.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they peaked. The games peaked.
I guess, but now he's going to go into the new region. That's this Pokemon game. That's Scarlet and Johansson.
But that's the world, right? Or every region has a champion.
I guess.
I don't know. It's very confusing. I don't know the rules of the universe.
Yeah, I just wanted to call him out and say congratulations, but you're making this a whole thing now.
No, I'm there for Ash. I'm just saying if I wrote Pokemon,
he would
be
won
infinitely better. No.
10.
What do you mean?
I don't know if you could do the slow burn. You would have him like fail all the time?
He'd win episode 60. That's a perfect length.
60?
60.
Okay.
Anyways, he would also grow up.
Age, yeah, you want him to.
I love stories that can tell a story with a character that grows up.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to do for some reason because obviously you lose some aspects that, Ash is a kid. There's a lot of aspects to that, to his character.
Yeah.
That you lose if he was an adult. But if you do it well.
Think about everything that you gain.
I agree.
You get the rivalries, you get the romance, you get all kinds of stuff.
I understand. And to me, it's like aging with the audience. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. To me, it's like a no-brainer, right?
I think so. I mean, rather than watch Peaky Blinders, you just keep watching Pokemon throughout your life.
I was going to look where Pokemon was on the list.
Please don't. I can't take it.
I don't think it's above Peaky Blinders, but Dragon Ball Z is, and rightfully so, I would say. It's an easily a better show.
Rightfully so.
How is it not a better show?
Man who has not watched Peaky Blinders.
Okay, I will watch Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, sure you will.
And I will compare Dragon Ball Z with Peaky Blinders, and we'll see.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have more nostalgia for Dragon Ball Z or Peaky Blinders?
I have no nostalgia for Dragon Ball Z.
You have some nostalgia for Dragon Ball Z?
I have some memories. Isn't nostalgia a favorable thing that puts you biased to something regardless of if it's good or not?
We can do a definition if you'd like.
Yeah. Again, research department would be great on this, but
we'll do it ourselves. We have 11 resumes to go through. What do you think? We just have all day to look at resumes? Yeah. No. We meticulously
go through each one. Yeah.
Comb through every single leaf.
Every leaf.
You know what a leaf is?
Yeah. It's like a wooden slat that you put in a table to make it longer.
It is also things that grow on trees. But also
trees. Oh, like the tall things outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like your cat thing in here.
I don't see that. Yeah.
Anyways, it is also a page, but it's 2 pages because it's front and back is a leaf.
A leaf
of paper.
Of a book, yeah.
You like that?
I do.
Been watching a lot of Pawn Stars, and I learned that because some guy brought in a page from the Gutenberg Bible, and it's not a page, it's a leaf. He was corrected on it. So I was like, oh, fuck. I remember that now.
I might start the timestamp here.
Well,
and everything up to that has been just gobbledygook.
Can I just make a quick shout out before? I just have one more spice to add into the gobbledygook.
Yeah. Tell me where Pokemon is.
If anyone ever finds a leaf of the Gutenberg Bible, or is it a or one of?
Wait, what do you mean?
I guess it's one of. I guess there was more than one.
Gutenberg Bible?
Yeah. Or is
I
it
don't know.
one? I don't know. I
Didn't
think there's more than
Gutenberg
one.
do the whole printing press?
Yeah. Anyway,
I assume that's his thing to make more.
it was the
than
first
one.
book ever printed, right? It's the whole.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. Anyways, if you ever find like a page or something, it's worth like $60K.
Per page?
Yeah, per leaf.
Per leaf?
Yeah.
Oh, so it has to be front and back. You can't just have half a page.
Yeah, one of the completed ones, I think the last one sold in the 70s for like 2.2 mil.
That's like nothing.
You mean that's nothing?
I bet it's more nowadays.
It's more than your net worth.
Didn't a Mario Kart cartridge just sell for a couple million?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like.
Well, yeah, it was in the 70s, so today it would be worth more, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's bad that a Mario Kart cartridge could sell this, or a Charizard card can sell the same as like a Gutenberg Bible. I don't think that's quite true. I think Charizard's only a couple $100,000 or something.
Yeah, only.
Yeah, only.
I think people's...
Speaking of... Oh, sorry, go ahead. No.
Well, I just think people's
thought of something.
proportion, their idea of like money is so warped.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's only... Like, I know you were joking, but like...
Yeah.
People would literally say, oh, it's only a couple $100,000. I'm like, dude, that is so much money.
It's so much money, but now if I watch a game show and it's like, oh, the winner gets $100,000, I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
So what? Who cares?
Because our perception is so skewed for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, it's million or bust.
Yep.
And
Minimum, it has to be $1 million.
Right. Which is absurd.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
I was watching that the other day.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald was on it. Andrew Carey. Great episode.
Okay.
It was like the celebrity version. But I also watched the first guy who ever won.
Mm-hmm.
Those might be the easiest questions I've ever... I was doing it like along with them.
Yeah.
And I would have got to like $500,000.
Would you would have kept going, or you like cashed out and be like, okay, give me the million?
I didn't know the last question, but I would have had all my lifelines. Like, it was fucking easy.
Do you think there's a line and it's like, hey, we've been doing this for like a year and a half and no
100%.
one's got it.
Yeah.
We're losing viewership.
Yeah.
We need to
I would say
spice it up.
there might have been two questions that are like, okay, most people probably don't know this.
Yeah.
And the rest are, I'll send you the episode, man. It was laughably easy. Laughably.
They're what, like 20 minutes up? Like 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was like 20
episodes?
minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you can just fast forward through all the stupid talking, and
Yeah.
the guy was hamming it up. It was so, I wanted to hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they have to do that.
He did make a little Chad move at the end where he calls his dad, uses the lifeline for the last question. And
Hey, I'm going to get $1 million.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
No, but that's
Yeah.
a lot of people did that.
Chad
They're like,
move.
hey, I don't actually need you, but I just wanted to tell you I've got $1 million.
Yeah, he was the first guy.
Yeah. Good for him.
Pioneer.
I wonder if he still has money or if he's just bankrupt.
He was an accountant. He probably
He's
money.
probably fine. Yeah,
He's okay.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of the Gutenberg Bible,
yes,
Lord of the Rings.
I know it well.
It's like 2 million letters or something. There was a TikTok going around. I don't know how
The books are
perfect this is.
2 million letters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I assume it's all 3 books. I don't know if it's one of the first book or not, but
It's got to be all 3, right?
they took the Lord of the Rings. They took cans of alphabet SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dumped those out.
Yeah.
And did like an average. So they separated each letter of the alphabet in those cans into like paper towel piles. So 26 piles of different letters.
Yeah.
Okay. They took an average, put it into a computer to see essentially how many cans of SpaghettiOs it would, and I forget the number of cans, but it would cost like $12,000 in SpaghettiO cans
Yeah.
to write out the Lord of the Rings in alphabet SpaghettiOs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just.
I thought that was like, 'cause it was like a comment, and someone's like, humans have taken things too far or something. And
Well,
somebody was like, hold my beer. You know?
We've run out of things, right?
Yeah, that's what we're doing now.
We are bored.
Yeah.
And we are literally just wasting time until the planet blows up.
Until
so,
we just die.
yeah. So, impressive. That is interesting.
Yeah.
There was like this video I was watching or something, and they were talking about like infinite universes, kind of like us.
Oh, yeah.
And someone was like, dude, if a monkey was sitting at a keyboard and had an infinite amount of time, he would type out all of Shakespeare perfectly.
Yeah.
And,
I guess that makes sense.
No, 100%. And
Yeah.
like the other guys were like, that's impossible. There's no way.
But infinite.
But it's infinite. Exactly. They just couldn't grasp the concept.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I was like, yeah, I mean, could you imagine that though?
I mean, you could technically infinite. It could be, hey, a baby was born. They put it near a keyboard, and we put a fly around its head. And as the baby's trying to swat at the fly, it's smacking the keyboard.
Yep.
And then it's typing out Shakespeare perfectly.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you have an infinite amount of time, the monkey has typed out Shakespeare, all of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Perfectly. Mm-hmm. Done it perfectly backwards.
Yep.
Every variation.
Yeah. Or the monkey looks like Shakespeare doing it.
Well, the premise was the monkey's just at a computer and just has an infinite amount of time.
Yeah.
To just
smack around.
So there's no other factors.
I know, but I'm saying the more it doesn't like the whole point.
I know it doesn't stop there.
No, I know, but as many factors as you want to put on it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why I brought that up. It was cool in my head, but that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
I wonder what the most okay. Here's an idea. Ready for this? Mm-hmm. So we always talk about infinite universes and like these crazy things happening.
Yeah.
What if there was a factor or number you could put on the craziness, like on a scale, right? And I wonder what the craziest event ever to happen on our reality is on that factor.
In our reality.
So, for example,
something has happened
in an alternate universe. Tyler and Jon were talking about this crazy thing that could theoretically happen in an alternate universe, but that one happened to be ours.
Yeah.
What do you think that event is for like our Earth?
Dude, that could be something stupid simple. Like, can you imagine somebody has like hair? They wouldn't even know what hair is, maybe. Or can you imagine if humans had hair? Like just something stupid like that. It's like, can you imagine if they had 2 eyes? Wouldn't that be wild?
Yeah.
How can you you can't put a thing on that unless it's like close. You're talking if the universes are very, very close.
I don't think you had a good example because, we know what a cyclops is, right? Or we can fathom that.
Yeah.
But they might be like, dude, could you imagine if a meteor came down and just wiped out all the dinosaurs on the planet? And there's like a little velociraptor walking around outside.
Yeah. Oh, like
that would be
all
more
the dinosaurs just were extinct.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be more like what I'm thinking.
Could you imagine if another universe they just destroyed this planet through pollution? It's just Adam and Eve type thing. Like everyone's just running around naked. Yeah. Can you imagine if somebody actually ate that apple? Wouldn't that be wild?
Yeah, they're all in the Garden of Eden. Yeah, they're talking about yeah. Well, I think the chances of that were pretty good.
Abel's just talking to his brother. Hey, Cain, could you imagine if I hated you so much I murdered you?
Yeah. I think that's what I'm thinking. What is the lowest probability event that's ever happened on Earth? We'll never know, but man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Just to know. It's probably some stupid thing like Ted was just sitting on his couch and threw a bagel behind him and it landed in the toaster.
The same time another Ted in another continent does the exact same thing.
Well, okay, I got to spice. So Ted threw it, okay?
Yeah.
And it's in the air and it's going towards the toaster while there was an assassination attempt happening across the street. The stray bullet went all the way through Ted's thing and through the bagel.
Perfectly.
Okay, perfectly.
Toasting the bagel.
Ricocheted off the wall and hit the toasting thing down at the same time as the bagel lands in while it blows up.
Yeah.
The toaster blows up.
Uh-huh.
And then...
How's Ted doing?
He's alive because a wormhole was created through these slices.
Okay. So we're a little off the rails today. That's fine.
It could happen.
I thought we were in this universe.
There's a universe where that happens.
Sure.
Ted crawls through the wormhole.
Who's Ted? Who are we talking about?
I don't know. Some guy.
Oh, okay.
So, do you know any Teds?
Yeah. We just played Call of Duty the other night.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it was him. Ask him if that ever happened to him.
Yeah.
All right, now you can timestamp it.
Okay.
I'm done.
Speaking of Call of Duty, you finally got it.
I apologize to anyone who had to stumble through that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Have I talked about it yet, getting Call of Duty?
No, that's the thing. I had it last time. You picked it up that night. So it's been 1 week. You've had Call of Duty for a full 7 days.
It felt longer than that. I don't know why. Anyways, so yeah, I've had Call of Duty. Pretty much mirror what Tyler said last week, if I'm being honest. The progression system is one of the worst, if not the worst, thing I've ever seen.
So you fall in my camp of
100%.
What are they doing?
I don't even think anyone has an argument for the other side.
Yeah, Nate likes taking it out of the comfort zone.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, I don't play Call of Duty to get out of the Call of Duty is
your comfort.
Is the comfort zone video game.
It's a warm blanket
of all time. Right. The whole marketing structure of Modern Warfare 2, the game literally copied the title.
Your kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you were 10 years younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The campaigns following the story beats, things like that, whatever. Yeah. So it's like, anyways, totally terrible idea. And you probably said something like this, but it's not even like it helps you out. Where I was looking for a scope for my M4, and I have to play the stupid, I don't even know the names of the guns because they're so stupid, but I have to find this one gun, and I don't even know what type of gun it is.
Yeah.
And the way I found it was one of the preset classes as that gun. That's the way I found it, and it was an SMG. So it's like...
Yeah, typically you have to click on each class, or each like type of gun. So like go through, okay, is it an assault rifle? Scroll. No. Is it an SMG? Scroll. No. And then you just keep going until you find it.
Horrible.
Yeah. When in doubt, it's typically a battle rifle and it sucks.
Oh, that sounds terrible. What it should do is it should say you need to get this to level 5. Gives you a link. Mm-hmm. Click on it. There's the gun.
Sure.
Solved.
But that means that there's a different UI for PC over console. And we just can't have that, John.
It was just fucking ridiculous. So it's stupid, and I hate that aspect.
Yeah.
Other than that, the game, I think it's really fun. The multiplayer is super fun.
I finally finished the campaign, so there is that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you already knew what happened, but how did it go?
Awesome. Yeah. I knew the story beats, did not know how to play it.
Yeah.
It was really, and I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but I just want to,
was everything running well now? I know you were having problems.
Well... as of last night, yes. Last night we had 0 crashes, and NVIDIA finally put out their official new driver that you can get off of the GeForce Experience. So that's PSA.
Yep.
Harbin tried it, killed his computer, did not. He just couldn't launch the game.
Wow.
Validated the files once, restarted. Now it seems to work. So
yeah,
for whatever that's worth.
I downloaded it last night and totally worked fine for me. So I never had any problems with the game at all.
Yeah, now there's Kyle. Like Kyle has, I think he's running like a 1080 or something. And I was like, oh yeah, there's new. And he's like, I haven't had a single problem. I'm not touching it. It's like, yeah, why would you? Sure, absolutely.
Well, it didn't let me launch the game.
For what do you mean?
It said I needed to update my drivers. It didn't let me launch the game. Yeah.
What?
Yep. Guys, so I didn't even know it came out. That's how I realized the update came out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
I didn't know they forced that.
I don't know, but maybe it was just me because it's been a while since I updated my driver. So maybe it got to the point where it's like, way too
as long as it works, I guess that's good.
Yeah, so multiplayer is super fun. Feels great. Gunplay feels good. I think the guns feel nice. Mm-hmm. The time to kill, it's definitely different, right? It's not your old COD, but I think it's a great spot. I just think it's a really nice spot where it's familiar.
Yep.
But it's modern, right? Kind of like what we talked about with Halo, right? I think they struck a really nice balance on Halo Infinite where it's like, if you go back and play Halo, it is so slow.
Yeah.
And it's just too slow. Like you need sprint, in today's climate.
Yeah.
Where we can't focus on anything, right? So it's like, I think it is good balance for the new Call of Duty.
It's chaos, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just eating Battlefield's lunch right now. Where like Battlefield actually I don't know if it's out yet or if it's this month, where they're like, hey, you can play Battlefield 2042 on Game Pass now. That's cool, right? It's like,
no.
Wow. It's like, okay, so I think it's coinciding with their like 3rd or 4th season or expansion or whatever the heck they're doing nowadays.
Yeah. Well, so we were actually playing Ground War last night.
Yeah.
And so fun. I mean, just really brings me back to the Battlefield days.
It doesn't feel, and maybe it's just because we didn't have the right kit, I don't feel that the vehicles are as good. I think it feels really bad to drive anything but a tank, personally. And maybe I have to mess with the sensitivity on specifically that. But I never felt like I was powerful against something. So in like Battlefield, you have your C4s and different things like that, and you're like, I'm one man, I'm going to run up a tank, and you like hunt tanks out.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like, I'm just going to keep my distance. Like, why even try to engage? Because it takes more rockets than you have to destroy it. So it's like, well, what's the point?
Yeah, so I have a ground war class that I've been using, which has like an LMG, which the LMGs are really great in ground war because you just get a bunch of people and just mow them down. And the range is great on them. Like, it's really, really nice. But I have the Javelin as my rocket launcher, and I think it takes 2 to kill, and I don't even know if it kills it. I think it might disable it. So I think you're right. I have like Thermite on there as well, which seems to do pretty good. But it's a balance, right? You want tanks to be powerful, obviously, right? You want them to make an impact. But I do agree, Battlefield did a great job of like there's kind of this rock paper scissor effect, which I think you definitely need in a game type like that.
It's weird because like Call of Duty promotes the squad mentality, right? Like if a tank's coming in, if we had all 3 of us, like me, you, and Kyle, who were playing, focus on a tank, I feel like we would have blown it up no problem if we all had javelins or whatever. Yeah. So it's weird because Call of Duty focuses a lot on that type of like, hey, if you work together, you can do some damage. You can lock a plant or place down. But the thing is, if you promote that, then it's like, cool, I would love to see marking or like if you're the squad leader, say, okay, hey, we're going to go to B now or something like that and get points that way. Like similar to Battlefield, like, Battlefield does a lot of good things. It's just their last game was broken. So there's that. But Call of Duty, I think, is like almost there. They just need to do a little bit more. I swear there was marking at some point and they like took it out because it was like buggy or something. But
maybe there's the spotter scope. So that's like an equipment you can use, but that's just for people. Yeah. You can't do it for vehicles, which sucks. Yeah. So I agree. I mean, the spotting is a huge aspect of Battlefield that is crucial to the formula, I think, in that big team kind of battle situation. Because like I said, you can point out objectives you want to go for, and it just helps just pointing out where things are. Like, you know, Kyle was saying that he was having trouble like finding the UAVs and stuff. It'd be nice if we could just point that out and then shoot them down. But I don't know. And what you were talking about with the team dynamic as well. What I liked about Battlefield is they encouraged everyone to have a unique role in the squad, right? You need a healer, you need a engineer, whatever the case may be. But in this one, you kind of have to like team up and do the same thing. Like you said, you have to all bring rocket launchers to bring down vehicles, right? So
it's really like just unique. Bring a rocket launcher, bring a case of ammo, and then you're self-sufficient and you're good. Because there is no healing, right? So like it doesn't matter with that. One note too is like I wonder if it's just the size of the maps because like they're fairly large. But the nice thing with Call of Duty is it's like you're always just in the action, like no matter where you spawn. Where I felt like Battlefield, especially the latest one, it was like, hey, let me run for over a full minute to get somewhere, get shot, and get all the way back, and then I got to run through there. But like there was never a shortage of vehicles, not like vehicles that it's like, okay, hey, I have to, I want to grab a tank or something. It's like, hey, I just found this random car and I'm just going to drive it to where I need to get to, just get there faster. So I don't know. I think that it's like you were saying earlier, it's faster paced. It's just more action. It gets you what you want versus Battlefield's a little bit, again, maybe it's different than last time we played. Battlefield was rough.
Yeah. So something we, found out yesterday as well is the maps themselves are just expanded versions of the regular quote unquote maps that you play, the regular game modes on. So I thought that was super cool. So like we were playing on I forget what the map names are, but like the C flag, which is in the middle of the map, is just the town that you're used to playing Team Deathmatch on, right? So makes an interesting dynamic there. I think it's really fun.
I don't know if it was just me, but like I felt noticeably better, more confident, things like that, where it's like, oh, I know this section. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's just like, I felt like we were dominating more or less in there or getting our kill streaks whenever we were in like the maps that we were familiar with versus like just running where it was like a sniper fest.
Yeah. So, well, the problem is like you have to look at the ceilings though at that point because people fall from above. Yeah. But so in terms of like the other game modes, I think there's a couple of interesting new game modes that they added, like the prisoner one and stuff. Specifically, I think those will be very good for competitive. Those have a really nice competitive feel. Casually, I know it's not great. Like a lot of our friend group doesn't like not respawning. So
yeah.
That's a flavor type thing. But I think that overall really really solid game.
I don't mind. I actually like prisoner rescue more than I thought I would. And I like it more than like search because you can get revived. So like if you go down in prisoner rescue, your teammate can run and revive you.
Right.
So I think there is this aspect of like they're quick enough that it's not too bad, but also it's Call of Duty, especially for new people coming in, right? So like some of us are like I think I just hit 55 last night, so I'm leveled up now. Now it's just like okay, get X kills with X gun and whatever.
Yeah.
But for people that aren't there yet, I could see where okay, hey, I need to get like 15 kills with this gun. You maybe get 1 or 2 in prisoner rescue if you're not used to the maps or you're trying to learn them or something, and that's just not the way to play it.
Right.
So I don't know. Like there's a balance there. For me, I would do some domination, do some hard point, and then maybe throw in like a prisoner rescue. It just seems like it was the randomizer was like, okay, we're just gonna put prisoner rescue on for 5 matches, and like 2 hours later, it's
definitely
like,
promoting the new game types for sure.
Yeah, it seems a little biased there.
Yeah, domination remains the best game mode, even after like 15 years or whatever. So
yeah.
That's just, it is what it is. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it though. I need to try out the campaign, but multiplayer super fun. I know that OpenCritic gave it like a 76.
Yeah. Yep.
Seems a little, I don't know, maybe a little low.
I think so. Is bad well, it depends on when you catch me. If you catch me during a crash where like that would make me feel like 76 is warranted. If the game is working well, then I think the campaign is actually better than the first Modern Warfare, with the the reboot or whatever, like the new stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit better. I think the unlocking system is atrocious. I think the unlocking of like skins and tags and different that's all bad. Like everyone has golden gun. Like it takes like 2 seconds to do that.
Yeah, I saw that. That should be like the last one, right?
It's weird. Yeah, well, now it's like golden gun is like the low end, and now it's like you have to get 100 kills with the golden gun, and then you move to the next,
it's
whatever. Weird. So I don't know. I think it's fine. I think for completionists, that's going to suck a little bit, the way that they're doing it. It's not like you can just pick a gun, go all the way with that gun, and then move on to the next one. Technically, you can, but it's just a weird way of doing it. Like you're not going to actually see the full potential of the gun until you're done with all guns.
Yep.
Which is a bizarre way of doing that.
Super weird. I mean, towards the latter half of the completionist run, though, you're going to have a lot of that stuff unlocked, though. So.
Yeah, and then we don't know. So, Warzone comes out next week. Hardcore mode comes out next week. We don't know what the Prestige is. We don't know what the Battle Pass is. Or at least I don't. Maybe that information's out there. But if we had a research department, they could,
I'm actually curious about Hardcore. I always dabbled with that in the classic ones. Yeah. So it is weird calling them classic.
I don't know what the point of a hardcore mode is when the time to kill is so short as it is now.
That's going to be the weird part of it. Right?
I don't it's going to be like, oh, instead of 2 shots or 1 bullet, now it takes 1 bullet or whatever. I'm not saying, because we played a ton of hardcore mode, that's typically what we end up going to. I know Kyle likes it because you can level up guns insanely fast because it's like, oh, I need 100 kills. Cool. Brr, done. And it's just like, it's very, very easy that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I just don't, that's not for me. It's just like, I just want to just play the normal domination mode, whatever. And
well, yeah, I mean, I think the normal is better, but I am curious about it because, they've seemed to have been putting flavors on original concepts. Yeah. And I wonder if this is going to be an extension of that. So just some kind of gimmicky stuff for hardcore that was, because in the original one, it's like no HUD and the time to kill is super low.
Right.
So I think they would probably evolve that. And I don't know what exactly that they would do, but I think there might be a chance that it might be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hardcore class ready to go. So in the off chance. Yeah, I mean, it's a silenced DMR.
Why do you need silence? There's no minimap.
It's just the sound, right? It's like you still hear it. I think sound plays a very important, the more and more, especially these games where they retold all the sounds since the first one. I think you hear every little thing. Nate, we were doing like a friend match, and he was trying to like assassinate me, and I heard him turn on his dead silence, which is like a little like you pull out a little, I don't know, a thing. I don't know why you need this for dead silence, but you pull out a little like pad and you hear click, and then you run silently. But I heard the click, so I'm like, okay, I know what he's gonna do. And he was like chasing me, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know you're here. And I turned around and like shoot him real quick. But it's like that's how like high fidelity the sound is, where like I feel like every little bit helps personally. But then to that extent, you could probably hear a silencer. I don't know.
No, you're it's a good thought. I think the sound design is always one of the best aspects of Call of Duty.
Especially now. I think Battlefield had them beat until they retold it for Modern Warfare.
Agreed.
And then the guns feel good.
Yeah, like the new versions. So yeah, Call of Duty, fun. We'll have to give it a score maybe after I do the campaign. And
I think the campaign's important. And I'll be interested I want to get your feel for the campaign, and then I want to see after the end credits, does that score change at all?
Okay.
So I'm going to say that, right. But yeah.
Little Thanos post-credit scene.
Right, yeah.
What was I going to say? We'll do that. I think that'll be good. And then, do I have to play the first one too? No. Okay.
Well, tell you what, I think it's worth watching that YouTube video of like.
How long is that?
Probably 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Recap?
I'm sure it's always like the Modern Warfare, like catching up to Modern Warfare in 5 minutes or whatever. And then like, here's the story. It's not a crazy story, but it's like, here are the different characters. So as they're like jumping around, you can figure it out.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I've been playing Modern Warfare, but I've also been playing Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, how's that going?
After a very long time of having that game, having a PS5 just sitting there. Okay, so the reason for anyone who doesn't know why I haven't been playing my PS5 is because I couldn't play it in 1440p, which is what my monitor runs at, and it looked terrible, so it just wasn't worth it. The update came out a while ago, and I didn't even realize, because I knew it was in beta for a while, but now I can play it. It is beautiful. It looks very good. It's still 60 frames, which kind of sucks. But I will say, after you play it for a while, you do adjust to it. Yeah. So it's actually not that bad.
Have you tried putting a mouse and keyboard on that?
No, I'm getting used to the controller again. It's coming back. It's like a bike.
Does it have, because the controller, the whole point of the PS5 was it had like those like pressure sensitive like triggers and things like that, and like the special rumble.
Yeah.
Does Horizon do any of that? Like, does it feel like you're pulling a bow
but
back?
It's super gimmicky, I think.
Okay.
It's not anything crazy. I mean, not the original Xbox, but like Xbox 360 had like a trigger that felt like that. I don't think it was sensitive.
Did you play like the demo that comes with every PlayStation, where it's like, hey, check out all the different features of this controller?
No.
You should. Like that was actually impressive, but I have yet to.
Well, if I can't experience it in the game without knowing it's there,
fair,
you know what? It's not worth it, right?
Yeah, you're 100%. Yeah. That's a fair point.
Yeah. So I didn't even know that kind of stuff. I know the rumble stuff, they do that sometimes, but it's like it's more annoying, honestly.
Well, it's like the triggers themselves. Like I know in Modern Warfare that was actually a thing that people disabled because different guns had different trigger throws.
Oh wow!
So like
awesome.
Whatever gun you pulled up, and that was super cool.
Yeah.
But then in competitive play, it's
terrible,
like we're turning this stuff
off. Yeah, absolutely. That is interesting. Yeah. I haven't noticed it. Maybe I'll focus more into that now. I mean, it's weighted or whatever, right? So
yeah, but that's dynamically. So like if you're pulling a bow back, like what I'm saying is if you're shooting a bow, does that feel different than if you're? And I don't know the new game, but does it feel different than if you're shooting like a crossbow or shooting a gun or shooting whatever?
Yeah, so I'll have to hone in on that. I almost exclusively use the bow, so that's probably why I didn't notice. 100%, it still is. So, anyways, Horizon Forbidden West, gorgeous even on PS5 It looks really great. And there is some things I noticed. So playing the first one on PC, you see where they have to cut corners to make it run so well.
Okay.
So for example, there's like this scene where this guy's cooking something, and the what the ingredients that he's making look terrible, just horrible. But the faces of the characters look fantastic. Yeah. So I wonder, like on PC, it probably will just look crisp. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a rendering thing of
I guess it depends on how much work they want to put into it.
Right. So maybe it will still look like shit. But the characters look so good. I know in the first one, this, like the characters like a bright spot in just the look of the game. And just the environment as well. I mean, it's very similar to the first so far. They've added, a couple things. There's a couple evolutions, new tools, new there's like these special powers you can get now. So you get you fill up a gauge, and depending on what tree you're spec'd into, you get like a power or something. So
yeah,
new things, but largely remaining the same. And I was a little bit skeptical about jumping into it, and this is another reason why I didn't jump into it right away, is because I was like, okay, well, I played the first one, I pretty much got it, right? Like I feel like this is just an extension of the first one. And then I got into this one. The tutorial was pretty boring, but then after that, I was like, oh yeah, like I started seeing the old characters. I was like, the story's pretty good.
Okay,
this
so you see what they're
good.
trying to do with it. Yeah,
it is fun. So it sucked me in, and I put a good amount of time into that so far, and it's just been fun, man. It's a really well-crafted game. It just makes me really appreciate that there are studios still making games like this, just completely single-player, story-driven, like a God of War, right? So it's very, very similar to that style.
Out?
Yep.
Or is that so that's officially out?
It's out last week, Tuesday, I think.
That was the embargo. I don't think it was out yet. So
Wednesday
it came out. Yeah, so it came out Wednesday this week. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have to play that too. So I got to finish Horizon real quick, then jump into God of War. I was going to
ask you, are you going to finish Horizon before doing God of War? Or is God of War so for me, I could be in the middle of Horizon the moment God of War came out and be like, all right, well.
No, I have to finish Horizon.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm weird like that.
No, I mean, that's probably for the best.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I don't think it's fair to the game I'm playing if I discard it.
It's just God of War, Like
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm excited for it.
So you were mentioning how good the character looks and things like that. And we don't have to dwell too much on it, but are you a fan? Because I assume that everything is in-game, like rendered in-game. So as you're running around, as you're talking to people, if it's anything like the first one, zooms into the first one, high fidelity, well designed.
Yeah.
But it's still in-game, so there is this uncanny valley, or not, that's not even the right word, but there is this kind of disconnect of this looks good, but it's not nearly as good as a pre-render, like the old days of pre-rendered CGI cutscenes.
So there were a couple CGI cutscenes in the first one, right?
Were there?
Yes, because I played it on PC and they looked terrible because it was in 30 frames or whatever.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? So it wasn't in, or maybe 60. It looked like it was 30. I mean, it was really choppy.
Yeah.
And it looked okay, but it's if you have such a frame drop, it's hard to tell. I don't believe there have been any so far. But if there are, it'll probably be in 60, right? I believe it'll probably be consistent. Yeah. So,
well, the only reason I'm asking is whenever you do the campaign for Call of Duty, those pre-rendered cutscenes.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I think they're the best looking cutscenes just across the board because no one does it anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's easier to put it in. Well, I'm not saying easy. It's not easy, but I would assume it's easier to hey, we're just gonna act all this out within the game itself.
I don't know about that because I think correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like there's always been this stigma within the gaming community of pre-rendered stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it just depends. That's what I'm asking you is I think it's a subjective thing. Me personally, and this comes back from my days of Warcraft and different things like that, I like the idea of I'm playing the game, I'm doing the gamey thing.
Yeah.
And I'm rewarded with, hey, here is a really well done little cutscene movie thing to then get back to the game. So I'm fine if the movie looks just incredible. So back with Warcraft, it's a top down little chibi guys and stuff.
Right.
But then you have this fully rendered orc fighting a human or something and it's that's sick.
No,
Call of Duty is kind of the same thing.
I'm with you, but I think I like it more like that because if you think back to the old RPGs, that's how it went, right? You have terrible graphics, and then you get that like a Final Fantasy or something. And Final Fantasy had some of the best pre-rendered stuff, right? Just fantastic. And Warcraft and all that Blizzard stuff, right? So,
but then you have God of War, which is a zero cut thing, right? So God of War doesn't have that.
So the reason I would prefer it in game now is because it's so close. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's not that huge gap. So what you were talking about is, like you said, a reward, right? It's this awesome. It's such a chasm of quality difference that it's super awesome.
But you can move the goalposts. So I agree with you that the in-game stuff now is to the quality of like yesteryear's pre-rendered stuff.
Right.
But then when you look at the Call of Duty stuff, where like the faces are so good, the speech is the lip sync is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very interested for you to at least play the first couple missions, see that, and then compare and contrast.
So maybe Call of Duty does it better.
Yeah.
Because the last example I can think of is Final Fantasy Remake, right?
Yeah.
They did have a couple CGI pre-rendered stuff, and it actually took me out of it. Like I thought the in-game looked so well. Like the character design in that game is so well done. Actually, the CGI stuff was like, that's not really how they look. Like, I don't know. It kind of was jarring to me a little bit. So maybe Call of Duty does it better.
It's jarring. Well, that's the thing. I think it is jarring regardless.
Okay.
Still, it's
I don't know. Then
is it worth it? Is it worth being jarred for a 30-second or 60-second awesome looking clip?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is the best visuals ever. If anything, it makes me excited on like where we're headed, because at some point graphics are going to be so good that, and like that's with like ray tracing and everything, but they're going to be so good and the animation's going to be so good that what we have in the future is going to be like today's standard. So in my mind, I'm like, this is a glimpse into the future of what we have coming in, Call of Duty 2042 or whatever it is.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think that'll be interesting. I think there is a debate on that. That is an interesting point. I'll have to take a look at Call of Duty. I think I don't like it as much if I'm like basing it off of the Final Fantasy experience. I don't know how you felt. Did you enjoy those CG? I don't know if you remember, but
I did. I think a bar is like, can you do it without pre-rendered stuff, or what are you gaining from that? Again, I'm not saying that Call of Duty should have done that.
Okay.
I'm just saying the fidelity that they have was really good. They could have done all of their CGI stuff in engine, and it probably would have given me the same like, oh, that's cool. Like that's a cool moment.
Yeah.
So with Final Fantasy, it's kind of the same thing where I think Final Fantasy is rendered so well. I don't know. Like, do you need the cutscene? Probably not. But like, I don't know how you would do that in game. I don't know. I'm talking in circles now.
I don't know. I mean, I'll let's take a look. I'll let you know what I think. I think I'm a proponent of in game, but maybe that would change. Maybe Call of Duty does.
Yeah, I guess like I would love to see I would love to see a God of War pre-rendered CGI in the fidelity of like Call of Duty, at least in the facial animations and different things like that.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's the best so far.
100%. But I think people shy away from that because I know like when trailers come out, specifically in the trailer sphere, if it's pre-rendered, there's a negative connotation to that because I think it's more because people want to see what the game's going to look like.
Yeah.
So maybe that is a different argument that I'm kind of saying. Maybe if it's in the game itself, what's already out, people are more willing to like
look
that.
To that effect. If you're looking at the Warcraft remake, well, not even remake, but like the Reforged or whatever.
Yeah.
They did the first movie and it looked incredible. They did a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah.
That's the only one they did. So there are a bunch of cutscenes in the game. They did that intro one, and they're like, "Oh, well, we never really said we were going to do all of." It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, excuse me. They're like, "Oh yeah," and then like they were showing like clips from like with like different camera angles and stuff of in-game stuff that they never put in the game, and then they like left it on the website, and people were like, "This is like." Straight up lying. Like you're saying like dynamic angles and it's like you didn't do this. This isn't in the game. Anyway, I think that's what people get mad about. Yeah, it's like anyway.
Well, do you think that's the worst remake of all time? Maybe up there?
That's tough. Like if you're touting it as like a remake or not a remake but like a remaster, is it one of the worst remasters? Then yeah, probably. Because it's crisp, but I don't think it's
a factor good. In that, right? Is expectation, right? I think that's a big factor when you're talking about a remake.
Well, they changed the mission to make it like fit better, which is fine. They changed the character models, which looked better. But then when it's all the other scummy stuff that they did, where it's like, but you didn't do any of the cutscenes, and you didn't do the camera things, and you didn't do half the stuff you're gonna say, and you're forcing people to download your new client, even if they have the old game, and you don't have ladder matches, and it's like holy cow, like they botched that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we'll have to see.
Meanwhile, if that ever goes on sale, I'm totally buying it because I need it for my collection.
God, it's so
I know,
bad.
I'm just giving money.
But I will say, I won't bring up one final point here. So I was watching Digital Foundry, and they were there's one campaign level in what country is in it? Fuck, Norway or something.
For Call of Duty?
Call of Duty, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I cannot remember, but it's like this. It's like the one mission where you're kind of just walking around. There's like this bridge and nothing's happening. I guess it's like some downtime. But they did a side by side of the actual town, and it was unbelievable.
Oh, Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, thank you.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
Norway.
I don't know what.
Where's that? Where's Amsterdam?
Amsterdam?
Yeah. Is that the country?
I think so.
I'm so stupid.
I
Anyways,
don't know.
Amsterdam. So it's in the red light district. So they were doing a side by side, like real footage. Did you see this video?
Yeah.
The real footage with the in-game footage. I think it was console though. They still don't have the PC stuff out. I don't know if they're going to.
I think they were waiting. If I'm reading between the lines, I bet you they were waiting for NVIDIA's driver. Now that's
smart,
up there because they added some features and stuff, so they were probably waiting there.
Yeah, good call. But this is kind of an interesting concept, right? So we talk about the quality of the visuals, right? But there's an aspect to it as well of the accuracy of the visuals.
Yeah.
So the proportions in that scene makes it look so much more realistic that when you put up the side by side, I mean, the game looks great as well.
Sure.
But man, that just adds another layer to it for me where everything is so proportionally accurate down to the telephone box on the wall or whatever, right? So it's like, it is pretty insane. So I think while improving quality is important, and I think as we get better hardware, that's going to obviously happen. I think, things like that, I forget what they use, like the geolocation kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like a piece of it, I think.
But it's so different because that level is designed completely differently than the rest of Call of Duty because for something like that, when you're playing, and I forget, I'm sure there was a video about this like way back whenever they were explaining like level design.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, stairs are like twice as long, or they're twice as wide, or they're like the doorways are twice as big because you have to have that. Like, how many double doors are in Call of Duty? Because like people are just barging through stuff, and you need room to navigate. So in the original, not the original, but like Modern Warfare 1 in 2019 or 2018 or whatever, whenever you're doing like the house missions and going and doing stuff, it felt very, very cramped because it was like, oh, these are like real proportions.
Yeah.
And like you're stacking up on people, but like nowhere is that in multiplayer because you can't have that. So I think that's cool where you can do both in a game, and that's just good game design where they blend it pretty seamlessly.
Yeah, right. Because this is a section where there's no fighting. You're literally just walking, taking it in.
There's a Burger Town reference.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So I just thought that was fascinating too. It's the same technology like a lot of games use, but Forza uses this, right? Horizon. Where they actually take the landscape of Mexico, right?
Yeah.
And recreate some of those aspects, which I just think is fascinating technology, super cool.
Yeah.
It's really exciting where the future is going to lead us there.
Yeah, I mean when you're pulling in textures and like I can't wait to start actually seeing real like Unreal 5 based games.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a huge unlock for that kind of
Have
stuff.
you tried the demo stuff at all?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting just to kind of see.
I mean, the 40 series is apparently like leaps and bounds with like ray tracing and all this other stuff. So like, I think by the time Unreal 5 comes out, I'll be ready for a new graphic. My graphics card will be fine, but I'll be like, okay, whenever you get like a new game that's Unreal 5, that's like a jaw dropping, this is truly next gen. I'll probably pony up and just get like whatever the latest card is and drop that in the system. Yeah.
Did you see that one video? I think it was in Unreal 5. Where it's like a Superman mod.
Yeah.
That looked so...
Yeah, they did Superman. They did Spider-Man. I think that's all based off of the Matrix thing that they put out.
It's the Matrix demo thing, but man, like when you go supersonic with Superman, I mean, the potential is there, man.
Yeah.
There's never been a good Superman game.
Yeah, I still don't know if that's enough to make it a good Superman game, but
probably not.
Cool.
But I mean, there's so many aspects to Superman to like make that work, but I think we're getting there.
Like I think the moment you put Superman on it, you screwed up because now everybody knows his strengths and weaknesses, and if you can't hit that, you're done. But there's nothing stopping you from making just like generic superhero guy.
Yeah.
And then do everything you want to do and you just be like, oh yeah, no, he can get shot, so watch out, like by lasers or something. You know, like there's stuff you can do.
Well, I think you can do it artfully where it's the origins of Superman. He's obviously, I mean, as the comics go, he's not as powerful immediately because he's kind of unlocking that he never really realizes his potential. He kind of keeps breaking barriers.
Yeah.
So I think you can do that, right? Like you start off jumping buildings in a single bound and then he realizes, fuck, I can fly. Like there's a whole big thing with him.
You like used to unlock flight.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
He wears like helmets in space because he always thought that he, needed oxygen. And then like there's
I can hold my breath like indefinitely.
No. He can just
just breathe in.
He just needs sun. Like he doesn't need anything.
Yeah. Or that's easy enough is like, Lex Luthor just turns the sun red and then it's like, oh, okay.
No, there's a couple ways to go about it. But man, when the technology catches up and you can actually just be the most OP version of Superman just flying through planets.
Yeah. And like there are plenty of games that try that with like Saints Row and stuff where you're just like this insane
just
person.
God mode. Yeah.
Infamous. Yeah.
Yeah. So been enjoying video games again, so that's always good. But speaking of Superman,
yes,
in the superhero sphere,
okay,
let's take a step back and just this hero sphere. Batman. He's not a superhero, but he should be. I guess he might be.
He's a super guy. He's
the best guy there is. Some sad news today that Kevin Conroy passed away.
Yeah, you texted me that, and that ruined my entire day.
Yeah, I felt bad, but
no, I mean, hey,
it is what it is.
That sucks. Yeah.
No, it was really. I saw that. I saw it as soon. I think it was Watch Mojo on YouTube. So I was on my YouTube, not during work, of course, and it was on their feed. 1 minute ago. Yeah, Kevin Conroy. So probably not the first to see it.
I was hoping it was fake because like there's so much crap going on with Twitter where like people are making fake accounts and because anyone can get like check marked now for $8 and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, please let this be just like somebody just made this thing and it's just gone viral and it's like, nah.
Well, Watch Mojo is pretty legitimate and I looked into it.
How did he die? Like they were saying he's been sick for a while. Did they ever say cause of death?
I didn't find anything. I mean, the dude was 66, but he looked way older than that. I don't know why. I mean, it didn't seem like, I don't know, he aged a lot, I guess. I don't know.
That he's such a cool, like, I never saw him or never saw a bad thing about it when it came to things like cons and things like that. Like, he was just always super into that. Where how many people are just like we saw who played Chewbacca? Peter someone who played Chewbacca.
I have no idea.
Yeah, Peter M. But like he was just like miserable the entire time at Steel City Con and stuff. Yeah. So it's like, well, from everything that I read or watched or whatever, Kevin Conroy was always like jazzed to like meet fans and talk to people. And,
I mean, do that kind of he didn't have an ego, right? I mean, he was just all about the fans, and it seems like voice actors more so than actual actors are more like that. I don't know why. Maybe they're not as famous, but I mean, if you're on top of the voice acting game, you're doing pretty well, right? Like you are way above the median for societal standards,
right?
And voice actors, to me, they're always just what I see. I know there's probably a couple exceptions, but they're always great at cons. They're excited when they see like cosplays of their character or like people just nerding out on
or maybe it's just like people recognizing them for their voice. It's like, oh cool, like I accomplished that. Like if you can tell that's me from XYZ, or just because it's like, oh okay, you really like this one thing and you never saw me at all but you liked the performance I did, like it's a huge compliment. But it's nice when people actually like think the fan, it's like, oh, okay, the fans got me to where I am, so that's cool. Let me thank them.
I mean, I was watching this interview and I forget who the voice actor was, but they were talking about that connection you get when you're identifying with someone's voice, right? So in this case, Kevin Conroy is pretty much Batman, right? And I don't know, to me it's like it's more of a personal connection because you have an actor play a character,
right?
Like Christian Bale.
Yep.
And great Batman, but you see the fantasy in that, right? You've seen Christian Bale and other things, right? But when Kevin Conroy speaks as Batman, the image you're seeing, like, that's literally Batman, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's like an emotional connection there that you get with those iconic voices, right?
Yeah, and it's based off of like when you heard them. This was like I was young. This was my first foray into Batman. This is like, okay, like this is his voice. So then later on, like obviously we'll get to this in a minute, but like whenever you hear the Arkham games, right? Yeah. And it's just like I saw the first trailer for it or something, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that Mark Hamill? And it's like, wait a minute, that's what Batman sounds like. And then you look it up and you just double check because it's like, is this just? And then you get that much more excited because it's like, oh, this is going to sound. It might not look like the old cartoons, but it's like this will be like quote unquote like my Batman or my Joker and stuff like that. But
yeah, I always think it's really interesting. Like you said, everyone has their own version. Yeah. Usually it's comic book characters. Funny enough, I'm sure there's like other things too, but like my Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire. Is he the best Spider-Man? No. But that's my childhood, man. Sure. Like I played the games, I watched the movies. I was young when those all came out. Like,
but it's crazy. Who voiced Spider-Man in The Amazing Spider-Man?
Who?
I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like, and I hate to throw shade right after that, but like we watched a ton of cartoons as kids, right? Yeah. And then it got to the point where, and to be fair, I didn't know who Kevin Conroy or Mark Hamill were as a kid. I think I knew Mark Hamill just because I was like, wait a minute, that's Luke Skywalker? That's nuts.
Yeah.
But picking those voices out is different than like, like I was noticing Mark Hamill and other things and stuff like that. But for all the other cartoons we watched, like Spider-Man, Dragon Ball Z, and that sort of thing, me personally, I couldn't pick out those voice actors if I tried. But there was something about Kevin Conroy that was like, oh no, like no other voice. And this actually kind of goes for both, where it's like he didn't just have a good Batman voice, he had a great Bruce Wayne voice. And it was just a little bit higher, and I guess that was just a normal talking voice. Yeah. But then when he did Batman, it wasn't like growling or gruff or whatever. It was just friggin' deeper. Yeah. And it worked. Yeah. Like it was, anyway. It's super sad.
It's not a great Batman voice. It's the Batman voice. Like, I just think forever, no one will ever top that.
Yeah, like you don't need to whisper, you don't need to growl and stuff. And I don't know how you do it. I honestly, like, I know we keep talking about Batfleck, like, and get like Ben Affleck's in there. But like, that might have been the closest thing to me being like, yeah, I could see it. Yeah. Where he just turns on like the voice modulator. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what I would do. Right? Like, just talk normal.
Unlimited
like,
money.
Why would you destroy your vocal cords just to yell at bad guys all night?
Christian Bale just gargles marbles every morning, man, and fights crime. But honestly, so everyone has their own character. To me, Kevin Conroy will always be Batman. I mean, that is my Batman. Yep. And I know it's not a live action one, but just nothing will ever top it. It's iconic. There's just, I don't know, there's just some performances, right, that just elevate beyond anything else, and it is just immortalized, right? Just legendary, and that's obviously one of the ones.
And you have a lot of people that branch out and do other things and stuff, but like that's his thing, right? Like that's him. And he's done other stuff. Yeah. But
well, it's interesting, right? Because you have voice actors that are so talented, like Jennifer Hale, right? Yeah. So many things that she's in. And he's just Batman. I mean, there's nothing better you can do, but you're just so good at that one character.
He's done other things. Like he was in an episode of Matlock.
Yeah. Didn't know that.
Yeah, but it was just like...
my dad loves that show.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. So I saw he was super young. Yeah. But he was on the stand, and I didn't know who Kevin Conroy was, and this is whenever I linked the actors and the face to Batman. But it was just a random episode of Matlock, and he was on the stand. I'm like, that sounds like Bruce Wayne. And I looked it up, and I was like, yeah, sure enough.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah.
So anyways, in honor of Kevin Conroy, we wanted to dedicate our top 5 today to him. And we will be going through specifically his Batman performances, voice performances. Don't think he ever did live action, but just in case
somebody out there do live action.
Exactly,
actually,
you would know.
Yeah, he was in an episode of I think so. Whenever the CW or DC thing, and they did all the crossovers. So it's like you have your Flash, your Arrow, your Batwoman, all that stuff.
Yeah,
I think he was a bad Bruce Wayne. Like he was like an evil Bruce Wayne that like killed people, like killed the Joker or whatever.
Damn.
I think it was Batwoman, but you saw him, and that was kind of his cameo. It kind of sucks that he was like a bad guy.
Yeah.
But he comes in, and he was just like, he's this broken guy. Is after Bane broke his back, so he's in this like skeletal thing.
Yeah.
Sounded like Batman. It's so good.
They should have did like the future Batman.
Yeah.
Where he's like old and Terry takes up the mantle.
Well, that was essentially.
That's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, that was like he was done. Like he hated Batman at that point.
But he was still good in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, no, he was still a good guy. This guy, he was just, it's like
guy.
Earth, whatever. There were portals. It was a whole thing.
Well, that's always DC, right? I mean,
the hashtag on Twitter was RIP Legend, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, okay, so you're not even saying like RIP Batman or anything like that. It was like just straight up like, no, you're a legend. Like this is you. Your legacy will go on.
Yeah, it's immortalized. He is a legend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he is literally and always will be Batman.
Yep.
In my mind. So
100%.
No one will ever top it. So I have a list of every Batman performance he ever gave. We're going to run through them, talk about them, and then rank the top 5. So
sounds good.
You got the list out to mark them down,
sir.
The maybes and the definites. 1992, we're going to start out with a definite Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this countless times on the show, right?
Yep.
I mean, this is just such a crucial part of your childhood, important to mine as well, but really more so you. I mean, this was your golden years of watching cartoons, right?
100%. So it's on the list, right? Like that's not even like we don't even have to beat around the bush there. We'll talk about ranking, but like that spawned everything else.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like this was the start of just every other incarnation of all the other things he's done. This was first.
Is there a particular memory you have of watching the show that jumps out to you? I don't know, something that just stuck with you?
Several. Good and bad. So there were a few that they kind of gave me a little bit of creeps, right? So there was one point when he was fighting Ra's al Ghul, and he was fighting this ninja guy. I want to say he was fighting him near a volcano. That can't be right, but that's just in my mind.
It was, though.
That's in my mind. Yeah. But he was fighting this ninja guy, and this ninja had a special one move, and he took 2 fingers, and if he touched your chest with the 2 fingers, he killed you.
It's OP.
So he was fighting Batman. They were doing some sword fighting. They were doing some martial arts. And then he's like trying to touch Batman's chest, and Batman has his things, and it's like this zoomed in thing of like his hand shaking, trying to hit his chest. He finally does it, and Batman's like, and then falls down. And I'm like, he killed Batman. I'm like freaking out as a kid. But then Batman had some like chest armor thing, of course, that he like prepared for or something like that. So that was one. Whenever Catwoman turned into a cat, that was another one.
Yeah.
And then obviously whenever he was fighting the Joker, there are some spin-off movies. I assume on your list, like the spin-off movies are separate.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get to the other stuff, but those were the 2 ones where I was just like, ugh.
Well, yeah, isn't it crazy? Like when I think about childhood shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
oh shoot! One other thing too that freaked me out to no end was Hardak, where there's this like AI that was creating Gothamites, right? So it was like, hey, it's a robot, created Bruce Wayne, skinned him and everything, and then just started like, I don't think you can kill people in Batman, but like capturing people.
Yeah.
So he took Commissioner Gordon, took Batman, took different things. So then Batman was fighting a robot version of himself. Like it was. That show went places. Yeah,
too much for your mind.
It was nuts, man.
Dude, the writers were so good on that show.
There was one like when this dude like killed Batman.
Yeah,
like accidentally.
Yeah,
and then the Joker like was gonna murder that guy because he's like, I wanted to kill Batman type of thing, and like Christmas with the Clown. Oh, it's so good. There's so many good things.
No, it's a legendary show, and the birth of him as Batman. So that's his first time taking up the mantle, and what a start. You can't do better of a start than
great
that, right?
Ghost. So you saw kind of like where Batman was like getting his inspiration from and different things like that. Like,
it was a wild show. I mean, I think you can go back and watch it as an adult and enjoy it just 100%.
And a lot of that is, you talk about nostalgia. Like that is nostalgia.
It is nostalgia, but
good.
It's written in a way where it's not, spoon feeding kids. You know what I mean? It's not silly. It's not.
Yeah, it's not
stupid.
pandering and stuff. Yeah. It's not like, here's the lesson we learned today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like there's some adult themes in there.
Yeah.
So I don't
the
know.
lesson is always crime does not pay. That's
a good lesson.
That's the only lesson.
Batman will find you and kick your ass.
Yeah.
93. So the next year, Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes.
Which is the movie. So same style.
Yep.
Same kind of art direction, voice, everything. So
this to me was the adult version of the animated series. So there's blood, I think for the first time, where it's like, oh my gosh, like Batman can bleed. Like it was rough.
In the show, did he ever have like the little blood mark coming from his lip?
I don't remember it.
Yeah,
but this one was like the Joker's getting pummeled by him. He has blood. Like his mask is off. There's you see this range where it's like, oh, Batman actually has a love interest. There was a lot of moments where he's younger, so like you finally get to see him dealing with like his parents' death, and younger, and how he changes and how like his life experiences. Because you always wonder, it's like, okay, look, I get your parents died, I get that. You were very young, I get it.
Well, he was like what? He was like 8, right?
Yeah, maybe I don't. My parents are still alive, so maybe I don't. But
8. You're. If he was 2, I would be with you.
But does that warp you so much?
Yes.
That okay, yeah, maybe it does.
Got shot in front of him.
Yeah, sure.
I'm warped that much just by walking into my parents.
But what I'm saying is, this one you get to see him where he is young Bruce Wayne. He puts on like a ski mask.
Yeah.
And like fights some guys, does some damage, gets beat.
Yeah.
Like all bloodied up and stuff. And you see him fail, and you see him grow into Batman in this movie. And it's phenomenal. You see his love. You see it lost. You see the Joker come in. You see this kind of like mob boss background mystery thing. You see like you see death. Like it was like it's people are actually dying. Where in the cartoon they didn't. Right?
Yeah.
So it was this thing of just like, to me it was just very adult. And then the fidelity was much, much better. So in the cartoon show, a lot of the time if the Joker's like in the distance, his eyes are just like little pinholes and stuff. And like people are just like roughly like animating it, right?
Yeah,
because they have to get it done.
Yep.
In this, like all the eyes are perfectly animated, and it's like a perfect like, there's never some like weird like 3/4 view of a character where it's like the proportions are off.
Right.
It's so well done.
Had the budget, yeah. I mean, you see that a lot when it has the full movie budget and scope.
Right.
A lot of those things get cleaned up. So I'm assuming you want to put it on the maybes.
I would like to put it on the maybes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so 95, The Adventures of Batman and Robin, the video game. I'm not familiar with this game. Are you?
I never played it, no.
Okay, so we'll continue on. 96, we have The Adventures of Batman and Robin Activity Center, another video game. No idea. 97, we have the new Batman Adventures, so the new TV show, and I think you like this one less than the original.
I liked it less just because the animation was getting closer to Justice League and Superman and things like that. They were consolidating and trying to streamline it and bridging the gap. It's good. I get that. It just felt weird, especially as a kid. I have this internal thing of like, I really hate change.
Right.
So then when like the Joker suddenly looks harsher and everything's more angled, it felt less friendly isn't the right word, but it felt less familiar. It felt more stark. I can appreciate it now, but as a kid, it felt less organic, and I did not like that. Like everything was colder. Like it didn't like Poison Ivy was sharper and a cooler palette, and it just it didn't hit for me personally.
So I actually have a different perspective on it because this is what I'm more familiar with, right?
Right.
Like I was born this year, so not that I watched it that year, but I would be watching that show more than the original, and I'm more used to that, blockier art style.
Right.
So that's kind of the one that I'm more familiar with. But yeah, I think it's good. I don't think we have to put it on the list because I think it's pretty close to the other two. And you obviously prefer those, but more the same, right? I mean, just great. I mean, still the same voice actors and everything like that. And I think the writing is still fantastic in that show. Then we move on to the same year. So Superman, the animated series, came out the same year as this. And there's actually a couple crossover episodes that Batman's in. And I know we won't put this on the list, but those are some of my favorite episodes. It's fantastic. There's
the
one
interaction between the two is amazing.
Amazing. And there's like one where he steals Lois. Like he goes on a date with Lois Lane just because he fucking can as Bruce Wayne. So like he comes into Metropolis as Bruce Wayne on business, takes Lois out on a date, finds out Clark Kent's secret identity, and then just fucking leaves.
Yeah.
They fight, like they foil a Lex Luthor plot, and then he fucking leaves. It's fantastic. Like just such a Chad.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call that out. So great crossover episodes. So we moved to 98. We have Batman and Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero, the movie.
It's a big one.
Yeah. What do you have to say about this one? I mean,
so
same
we
realm.
are judging Batman performances. I think it's a good one.
Yep.
To me, this is definitely, hey, let's get you some Mr. Freeze backstory. Let's humanize him. Let's do that stuff where like I liked Batman's performance in it. I like the fact that it's like, okay, he's a bad guy and he's like, I'm gonna take you in, but I'm gonna not ruin your life in the process. It's a good. To me, it doesn't. It's not the same caliber. It's not. It's not the first. It's not like like the entire series, and I don't think it has the range that Mask of the Phantasm does.
So I think Mr. Freeze steals the show in this one, right?
100%.
It's all about him, and like that's another aspect of these, like how many things these shows did better than the comics. Mm-hmm. Harley Quinn came from the animated series.
Yep,
one of the most popular characters now in DC.
I mean, just about every character in there is sympathetic to a point, and that's I mean, I know that's like the thing, right? It's like, oh, bad guys are never truly all bad. Like there's some reasons there, but
in kids shows, not really. I mean, that's something
kids,
that's
the more
separates it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can't feel bad for the bad guy, right? I mean,
because then kids are going to start acting up for their parents. Yeah,
I don't know. It's really good. So, all right, we'll move through these here. I know we're running short on time. So, Batman Beyond 99. This is a big show for me.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Batman Beyond. You get an old Bruce Wayne, which you obviously want the original Batman, but I mean, just such a fantastic progression of the universe, right? Where he passes the mantle down and is kind of mentoring this new Batman, right? And still just high quality writing, voice acting. I think the art's really great still. How did you feel about this one?
As a kid, I just shunned it. I pretended it didn't exist. And that's the God honest truth.
Yeah.
Had I known that, again, I didn't know who Kevin Conroy was back then.
Right.
Had I known that it was a continuation of my show, I thought it was, oh, here's a new future. This was during like Turtles in Time. I'm making this up, but like Turtles in Time, Power Rangers in space, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, here's a new a rehash of something, or here's like a next gen version of it.
Yeah.
Had I known it was a continuation, and that like, oh no, Batman's in this. He's just old, and there was that link to like quote unquote my Batman.
Yeah.
I would have given it a shot and probably loved it. I liked whenever the Joker comes back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done. I liked the idea of like Mark Hamill coming. Like,
yep.
That's when I got into it and started watching it. I've never watched the whole show of Batman Beyond. So me, it's like I can't really speak to it too much, but I definitely did not give it a fair shake.
So the reason I really enjoy this one is because it's such a different perspective on Bruce Wayne. Like he's old, he's not the main character in this one, but he's still Batman, right? So he's still Bruce Wayne. So I think it's a different look at Kevin Conroy, right?
Yeah.
Of his performance, it's different. Like he's even deeper because he's like an old guy now. I think it's really good. I think it's worth a maybe.
Yeah, sure.
That's my own personal bias. I really enjoyed Batman Beyond, but I was like you at first. I hated it because like when it first came out, I was like, well, not when it first came out. I was fucking 2 when it first came out, but like when I first saw it, they would run these on like Sunday morning. And I was like, I just want like regular Batman. I don't want the red Batman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put the pieces together. I was like, oh, this is like the end of his story.
I'm
I thought it was really
embarrassed
cool.
to say how many years passed when they stopped making the show.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, what now? Like, honestly, it's whenever the Joker thing came out, and like, I think they made it as like a VHS. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So next up is like you were saying, lost my place. Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Yeah.
So that's the movie.
Yeah.
Just same vibes with that, and you already kind of talked about that. So I think really good stuff there.
Is that something you would put on in place of Batman Beyond? Or just
I think
Beyond?
Batman Beyond kind of encapsulates all that kind of stuff. 2001, we have the Zeta Project. So this was like a failed TV show. I forget what the premise was, but I do remember it. He's barely in that. So
Okay.
we'll move on to 2001, Batman Gotham City Racer. Never played that.
Good for them getting the voice of Batman in there.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect testament to Kevin Conroy being like, oh no, I'll be Batman. Like, sure.
Yeah.
Like, put me in.
I know, right?
That's
yeah.
fine. Mark Hamill towards a certain point is like, I'm only going to come back if you do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Or it seemed like Kevin Conroy was like, oh, Batman Racer, yeah, do that for you.
Well, it's a paycheck too, but
sure.
No, I love that. I mean, you know that he loved playing Batman.
Yeah, like
he wouldn't do all this shit if he didn't. Yeah, so I love how he just embraces it. 2001 Batman Vengeance video game.
I vaguely remember that one. Was that on a GameCube?
No idea. It doesn't tell me.
Okay. Well,
just says video game.
2001. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
All right. Then we get to 2001 Justice League, which is this. Obviously, this is my list for you. Sure. This is my
sure
bread and butter here. Now, Batman is the best part of this show, bar none. But what I really enjoy about this is instead of just being confined to Gotham, you get to see Batman interact with Superman. You get to see Batman flirting with Wonder Woman and fighting different villains right outside of Gotham. I think it's just incredible because like it's so cool because Batman's just the best, and when you have him like fighting Darkseid and shit,
right?
Even how ridiculous it is, you're just like, Batman's the best.
Yeah.
Like he's just hanging in there with gods, and it's fantastic, and I love every second of it. So Justice League has a special place in my heart. All of those voice actors in that show for those characters are just the
cemented,
ones, the ones I recognize. Like, I mean, there's some other games in here that I'll talk about that have overlapping with the Justice League voice cast.
Right.
So I'm just like, it's similar feelings as, well, we'll get to it. So 2002 Static Shock. Have you ever seen that show?
No.
Really cool show. So original superhero, I believe, to the TV show. He had like lightning powers and shit. And it was in the same universe as Batman Beyond. So really, really cool. I wouldn't put it on because he's barely in it, but it is interesting. All right, 2003, Batman Rise of Sinzu video game.
Yeah.
You know that one?
I know it. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Not good?
Yeah. It's a Batman video game. There were no, well, I would argue there were no good Batman video games for quite some time.
We'll get to some, though. Batman Mystery of Batwoman. That's a movie in 2003.
Yeah. I
don't remember that one, actually.
watched it and cannot remember a single thing about it.
Is this, so this must have been Barbara Gordon, right? And her suit was...
Batwoman was different. Barbara Gordon
Batwoman,
is
Batgirl.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Because they had, like, in that universe, they had Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, with, like, the yellow cape and that design. I liked her, but I don't remember Batwoman. That's interesting. 2004, Justice League Unlimited. Same thing. I mean, we just leave Justice League on there, I would say, but I mean, this is just an expansion of that. The cool thing about this show was
this was the same thing whenever they did like Batman and Robin, or like the new adventures of Batman and Robin.
Right. It's just an extension, but the cool thing about this one is, so in the original Justice League, it was just like the main 5 members or whatever, like Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Wonder Woman, Superman, all that, Martian Manhunter. In this one, there's literally like 50.
They expanded out.
Just an incredible amount of
yeah
superheroes that they got for this
we
one.
Ran out of stories. What if we gave you a new cast?
And this is where Green Arrow is incredible in that show. Like he's like kind of the secondary main character. Like things like kind of revolve around him. So it's a good one. I think it's worth a watch because I watched it semi recently, and yeah, like you said, it's nostalgia, but I really do think even for an adult, it's a good show. There's like some funny jokes in there that are like adult jokes and just, like high level themes, right? Like pretty mature themes. I don't know. 2005, Batman 89, The Complete Robin Storyboard. It's a video. I had no idea.
Okay.
2006, the Batman TV series. I don't remember that one.
Batman TV
The Batman, yeah.
What did he play in it?
He must have played Batman, right?
So that one, his bat ears were all over the place.
Yeah.
And the Joker, if it's the one I'm thinking of,
okay.
The Joker has like, he almost looks like Medusa with his green hair and stuff. Like it was wild, but I didn't think he voiced Batman.
It doesn't give me a lot of information. Just it's a list of all his Batman performances. So even if it's minute, it's in here.
I think that's one, and I actually did watch that because that'd be around the time that my nephew was watching it when I was trying to force him to watch the animated series. Like, now let me just watch this.
Yeah.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, and it was good. It's weird that I didn't notice him being the voice of Batman.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Okay, 2008, Batman Gotham Knight. That's a movie.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Okay, here we go. So 2009, Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
A video game.
Fantastic.
Is there anything else to say about this? I know you've talked a lot about when this game came out, the voices were the same as your childhood.
Right.
And
I thought it was amazing. The only reason why I wouldn't put it on the list is because there's a sequel that I think is better.
100%.
But no, I think it was great. I think that it let Batman be a little bit more gritty. So like you talk about range, you talk about like what his voice is, because like when you hear that voice, you are putting yourself into a specific like, okay, this is from the cartoon, like and stuff like this.
Right.
This took what made that cartoon amazing. And just like Mask of the Phantasm, how I consider that like the adult version of the cartoon.
Yeah.
This is like the actual adult version.
Right.
And it was amazing. It was really, really good. Like, and people can die finally, and it's like there are actual consequences to everything. It's like you just see Batman get beat down for a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
No, to me, it's Batman fully realized, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not this one, probably the next one, but where you have control now.
Yep.
And the story's great, too, in those games. People, I'm sure people realize, but the stories were the story is fantastic in that series.
Yeah, the Arkham Asylum, the story was good. Like, it was passable, it was fine. You fell into the trap of, like, big weird boss fight with the mutated Joker thing.
Yeah.
But the Joker, it was just like, the Joker's just going to F with you all night.
Yeah.
And Batman's just like, this is my nightmare. And then, continue. But yeah, so it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, to me, this one, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, is it reminds me of Portal, where this was like kind of the trial run, and then the second one's like the fully realized version. So we have Arkham City, Lockdown, which... wait, I skipped a couple. Hold on. Arkham Asylum, Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. So that's a movie.
Yeah.
2010, Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't know he voiced Batman on that. That's like that's a cartoon chibi.
Yeah, I think so. 2010 as well, Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. So another movie. And then interesting one, 2011, DC Universe Online. So
yeah.
I actually really like DC Universe Online.
Yeah.
So this is one that's near and dear to my heart. And again, they had all the voice actors from Justice League.
Yep.
Superman was the same, Wonder Woman, and they had Kevin Conroy, which is fantastic. So everyone would
Mark
pick...
Hamill was there.
Mark Hamill was the Joker, yeah. So everyone would pick their mentor. So you got to pick a mentor if you were a hero or villain.
Yeah.
If you were a hero, you'd pick Batman because you want to hear Kevin Conroy give you your mission instructions. And if you're a villain, you pick the Joker to hear Mark Hamill give you your mission instructions. So I just thought that was really cool. We don't have to put it on the list, but I do want to shout that out.
I mean, we can put it on the maybes. I mean, like, we haven't been putting too much on there, but...
Yeah, I don't think it'll make it, but it's really cool. I think they didn't have to do that for an MMO, right?
Right.
And they went above and beyond and did get that voice talent for it, which is amazing.
That drastically helped it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that intro movie still holds up. Like, it's still great.
We talk about pre-rendered stuff, right? Like, that's a fantastic intro. Look up, anyone out there, look up the trailer to DC Universe Online.
Yeah.
one of the best things.
It's like you can start seeing like, oh, this looks like old school animation.
Yes.
But hearing that on loop at GameStop, not the worst thing. Like it was okay. Like, and that was just over and over and over and over again.
It's just such a cool battle too. Like,
yeah. It's awesome.
It was such a cool animation. Yeah. So that helped the game too. Everyone was like, fuck, it's amazing. All right. 2011, Batman Arkham City.
Yes. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this on.
Yeah. So just the fully realized version, right? Just better in every way.
Yeah. So Arkham City is
not that it's
nuanced enough. So the cool thing with this is you get to talk to all the different villains, and there are more interactions than you had in Arkham Asylum.
Right.
Definitely more meaningful conversations between Batman and the Joker. So like the Arkham Asylum, he was just screwing around with them. Arkham City, now it's like the Joker's dying. Batman's like at the end, he's like the iconic like, hey, I would have saved you at the end. Like that's the messed up part of all of this.
Yeah.
And it's this. It was a different level of acting, I think. Again, the story was amazing, and the fact that Batman gets to interact with everything. So you interact with like Batgirl, and well, actually, I think Arkham Asylum you do this well, but Alfred, and like you bring everybody in the mix.
Yeah,
I think Robin was in that one. I think obviously Catwoman was in. So like you see this again with the range, this wide range of here's from his best friends to his worst enemies.
Yep.
It was so good.
Yeah, you just have more of a chance to interact with people. So, yeah, like I was gonna say, it's not that the game's better. I mean that helps, but it's the performance, right?
Yeah.
And like you mentioned beautifully, the characters he gets to interact with now, good and bad.
Yep.
The meaning behind it, like you said, it's more. There's more stakes. It's more mature. I don't know.
I mean, you get a little bit of Bruce Wayne in there.
Yeah.
Right? Like even that,
Yeah.
and it's not a lot, obviously, but like you still again get to see, oh, this is what he looks like without the mask on. This is how he talks to as Bruce Wayne. I thought this is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the best Batman game ever made. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. After that, we have just some expansions. We have Justice League Doom, which is a movie. I don't know if you watched that one.
No, this is past when I started watching a lot of these.
New style. I'm glad they still got Kevin Conroy, but yeah, I wasn't as invested. Maybe it was in the old universe because I can't keep track of that. I don't think it was though. I think Justice League universe stuff was done at that point, which was what I was in, Arkham City, DC universe. Okay. 2013. And I'm just skipping over the DLC. Sorry for the audience.
Yeah, that's
fine. 2013, Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
So another great role for him. This one interesting, obviously, because it's Superman versus Batman. You have an evil Superman now, so a different dichotomy between the two. Superman, voice of from Justice League, man. So I was super excited about that. It was interesting to see him evil. But Batman's incredible in that game. And I know it's not as story-driven as the Arkham games, obviously, but...
Yeah, but I think it did I would argue it was... I mean, maybe not as much as, like, Arkham City, but, I think it has as much, if not more, story than Arkham Asylum. Like, honestly.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Fantastic.
Especially for a fighting game, man.
Yeah, well, they
great
started
story.
that, right? I would have to... Because they kind of redid Mortal Kombat, but that's the whole thing is like, oh, NetherRealm can do a fighting game, but really put awesome story into it.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think that goes on the maybe. Personally.
Yeah, no, I think it deserves some respect. Fantastic.
Did you like
game.
Injustice 1 or 2 more? And I start to kind of merge the two together.
I do the
can't
same
remember.
thing. I would say 2. 1 is kind of rough to look at these days.
Yeah.
In terms of the story, I think. Yeah, I view it as one kind of thing.
I'll put 2 down because I think I'm with you where I at least remember.
I remember the story beats a little more.
A lot, yeah.
Like Brainiac was in 2, right?
Yeah.
And that whole arc, and then they kind of team back up again, which was cool.
Ish,
yeah.
yeah.
So, cool. Yeah, Injustice, great game. More DC Online DLCs. Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, which is a movie in 2013. I don't really remember that one. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. Nope. Tales of Metropolis TV series 2013.
I'll take your word for it.
No idea. Batman Strange Days, that's a short in 2014. Batman Beyond short in 2014. Batman Assault on Arkham, which is a movie.
That one, was it just that? Or is it like I'm trying to think. There was like a collage of different types of Batman shorts, but I think that came out around the same time as Arkham City, so maybe this isn't it. Never mind.
It's 2014. It's a movie, it says.
Okay. Well, continue. Yeah.
2014 Alfred, which was a short.
Okay.
Oh, he played Alfred in that. There's a little asterisk.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay.
Nice. I'd be curious about that. Yeah. 2015 Infinite Crisis. This is an interesting one for me because this is how I actually started playing League. So Infinite Crisis was a MOBA back in 2015, and it was set in the DC universe. Mm-hmm. And they got Kevin Conroy to play Batman. And I was like, this looks awesome. I was in a big DC kick. DC Online, really, was into the DC stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. I never played a MOBA before, but I get to play as Batman. It's fucking awesome, whatever, right?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I haven't played a MOBA before.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And
so Batman ruined your life.
Batman ruined my life. So it was interesting. So I played DC Universe, I played in Infinite Crisis, which was a DC MOBA, and I fell in love with it. It was super awesome getting to play all the superheroes, and I really liked how MOBAs worked. But the game did not do well, and they shut down the servers soon after, right? And I was like, fuck, I really liked MOBAs. That's when I turned to League of Legends. So interesting tidbit there. I wouldn't necessarily put it on the list. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of dialogue in that compared to the other ones, but it is cool that they got
mention. Yeah,
they got like Kevin Conroy for like a MOBA. That's you didn't have to do that.
Well,
right?
They got him for a racing game too, so I don't know how hard he was to get.
But that was in the
height.
Awesome
that he did it.
That was in the height of the Batman series.
Yeah,
this is like fair. 2015.
That's fair.
I don't know. Batman vs. Robin movie.
Yeah. I saw you can see that at Target occasionally.
Yeah. Justice League Battle for Metropolis, that's a short. And then we have Batman Arkham Knight. These are all in 2015, the video game.
Yeah, Arkham Knight was fine. I think they were a little heavy-handed on the whole like Batman's psyche and how he's basically the same as the Joker and all this other stuff. And it's like, nah, all right. And that one's interesting because you played Arkham Knight, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it was cool to see him struggle with the Joker internally. Do I think that came across well in the voice acting? Again, he did a fine job, and maybe I'm just putting too much on the story itself.
Yeah. I
just felt that the performance was better and more believable and more interesting in Arkham City than in Arkham Knight. Yeah,
kind of interesting like comparison to the Nolan films where the second one seems to peak.
Yeah.
And then the third one's kind of the aftermath of it, and it can't quite capture what made that second one so special.
Right.
I mean, you see that in like Star Wars too, right? Like Empire Strikes Back reaches this immaculate high where, similarly it ends on like a dull note in all three of those examples, right? So maybe that contributes.
I think the thing that saves it is the fact that the Joker is included, because a lot of the marketing was like, hey, this is the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, like I'm sure everyone, including myself, in the back of the minds, like the Joker's got to be in this, right?
Yeah.
But then the game starts out where you're literally cremating the Joker. So like that's the level of dark that the game is going for.
Yeah.
It was the same in Kevin Conroy didn't voice him in Origins, but it was the same thing where all the marketing and everything that was in like GameStop and all the collateral was all about like, oh, it's Black Mask and it's the mob and this is early days and stuff. And then the Joker shows up and it's like, oh, that's actually really sick.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's kind of the same thing where it's good, but I think it's because more of Mark Hamill and that side than necessarily Kevin Conroy.
No, I got you. Yeah, 100%. So then we have 2016 Arkham Underworld video game.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
I think that was a DS game? I don't know. But yeah, I didn't play it.
2016 The Killing Joke, which is the movie.
That might be my least favorite performance of both Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, where I felt that they both phoned it in.
It wasn't a great movie. Yeah, it wasn't good in my opinion.
I was very like I was equally. To be fair, that was also the thing of like Mark Hamill's like, well, if you want me back as the Joker, you have to do this movie, and they did it.
Yeah,
and I have never been more excited for a Batman film, nor disappointed in a Batman film.
Yeah,
so it is what it is.
Yeah, so that's not making.
That's actually out of. Well, I mean, we didn't know half of these on the 40 plus list, but that one I actively dislike. Like, I will never watch that again.
Yeah, me neither. It was weird. Yeah. Then we have Batman Arkham VR.
That one also, it was fine, but it's a weird thing where like you are Batman, but they didn't do a really great job of like him being in your head. It was bizarre.
We have Viewmaster Batman Animated VR.
Sure.
Whatever. Injustice 2, which we put on the maybes.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2017 now, so we have Batman and Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
That's weird because I would have expected that to be sooner. Like, I feel like that came out forever ago. And
it's interesting. We had Justice League Action, which was another Justice League like cartoon kind of thing. Not as good as the original. I mean, they got like some of the original voice actors, which was cool, but I wasn't a fan of like the art style. It was too modern. I love that
too modern,
blocky early 2000s art style, man. It's just I don't know. That's my cup of tea. We got Lego DC Supervillains, the video game. Definitely didn't play that.
That was a good one. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, 2018.
Man.
Would you put that on the maybes, though?
Me? Tell you what, no. Only because I think now, when I see Lego Batman, I actually don't want Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is bizarre, but yeah.
No, I'm right there with you.
I want Will Arnett as Batman.
He does a great job with that. Yeah. Teen Titans Go in 2018.
Oh, interesting.
An abomination of a show, but I'm trying to think. I guess they had Batman in that. I don't know. It must not have been.
Does he voices Batman?
He must, This is what this list is. Yeah, so that is very interesting. Huh. There's actually an episode of that. You never watched Teen Titans, did you? Like the original?
Not unless my nephew was watching it randomly.
That's definitely past your time. Right in my prime. Fantastic show. But Teen Titans Go is just fucking terrible.
I'm sorry. I'm talking specifically about Go.
Oh, Go is horrible. The original is great. But there's actually this really cool episode where they do a crossover with the original art style and stuff.
Oh, neat.
And it was very cool.
Yeah.
And Teen Titans Go is just a meme. Like, it's very self-aware. Like, they always talk about, like, they just want the old show. Like, like the characters say that. It's like, okay, that's cool that you're self-aware, but...
It's kind of like the Harlequin.
Yeah.
Like, they know what it is, and
it's not as good as Harley Quinn, but it is self-aware.
I don't know, like the latest season of Harley Quinn.
Really? I haven't watched it.
I think they peaked at 1, and that's
I only watched season 1.
Yeah.
I've only watched season 1.
Does Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy get together season 1, or is that 2? So maybe they peak at 2.
Might be. I can't remember. Maybe I watched 2 seasons because I do remember that.
Yeah.
And Kite Man.
Okay, so 2 seasons. I think they peaked.
Yeah.
Season 3, it's fine, but I'm good.
Okay. Anyways, 3 more. Justice League and versus the Fatal 5 movie. I don't even know what that is.
Sure.
Scooby-Doo and Guess Who TV series.
That early? Like what?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And then the last one on this list, I don't know if he did anything else, but Batwoman, the TV show. TV series. Is that what you were talking about?
That's what I was talking about. So he isn't a cartoon in that one, but he plays himself as Batman.
So his first and only live action Batman is his last role. Interesting.
I'm not going to say I wasn't disappointed seeing him that way because it's like, oh, it's Kevin Conroy. I was like freaking out to Chelsea when I saw it.
Yeah.
Because you heard, like, the coolest part about that, and sorry, Superman's like, all right, come on, buddy. He's on my shoulders. The coolest part about it was you heard him before you saw him.
Yeah.
And you heard his voice, and you're like, chills. Then you see the poor guy, and he's like decrepit, and like they make him look even worse in the show because then he has like a brace and stuff on. He's just and he ends up being like a bad guy, and I'm like, it's kind of disappointing, but his voice was real cool.
That's the way to do it, though, right? You start with the voice, and he comes out of the shadows.
Yeah.
But then he's like, old man, yeah. So that's the list.
Yeah, let me. It's a shorter list as far as what we have on the maybes. So we have Batman Animated Series, which is on the list.
Yep.
We have Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Beyond, Justice League, DC Online, Arkham City, and Justice 2.
Okay. So how many is that? 8? 7?
That is 7.
Yeah.
So we need to knock out 2 of them.
Interesting. And then rank them. So,
let me ask you this real quick.
Yep.
Is it weird to have Batman Animated Series and Mask of the Phantasm on the list?
I was going to go to the same place. Is that kind of, can we consider that one realm?
If we're talking the top 5 performances.
Yeah, then I guess it's separate, right?
Well, it is, but I'm saying I personally would like to keep Mask of the Phantasm on more than the entire series. Because
That's insane.
I know, but I think that if you're looking at the range that he does in that one movie, I think it's phenomenal. Like that, I think like whenever I think of like specifically Batman, that is the performance I am.
Is that where the iconic scene comes from? Is the movie, or is that in the show?
Which one?
The one where it's the lightning and I'm the knight or whatever.
He does that all the time, dude. Like,
there's the one monologue that's like,
yeah, no, that would be the show. That would be the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's like the iconic line.
Whenever like Scarecrow's getting to him, and like that's all over Twitter now, is because like he's like climbing up and he's like beat down and stuff, and his dad's like a demon or something. Yeah. The show is awesome,
great show.
But we're not ranking. My thing is like we're not. If we were talking like best Batman show, then sure, I would take the animated series, the entirety of it, over Mask of the Phantasm. But I think Mask of the Phantasm could rely on the Joker, could rely on those performances. But to see Batman from very, very young to current day and going through all the different emotions of sadness to love to loss to anger to vengeance to, like all this stuff within like a 90-minute show is kind of great.
Very impressive.
That's my argument for there, right?
I think you're the expert on this. I'm going to defer to you. I think we need to have both on the list then.
So you feel that strongly with...
Well, you can't cut the original series. I'm
sorry.
Okay, it's his first role as Batman.
No, I know.
It's just too good.
And I agree with you, but if we're talking about the performance...
But his performance was so good that he cemented himself as Batman.
Look,
they're hiring him for fucking Batman the racing game, okay? That's how good his first performance was.
Fair enough.
So
okay, but what else? So what can we take off the list? So we have Batman Beyond, Justice League.
Yep.
So Justice League has to be on the list.
It has to be on the list, in my opinion.
We'll go ahead and put that on there.
Yeah.
So we have to get 3 of these.
Yes.
So Batman Beyond, DC Online, Arkham City, and Justice 2. I think Arkham City needs to be on the list.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I would take DC off. I mean, because...
Would you take DC off over Injustice then?
Yes, because Injustice, it's more of a fleshed out role. Like, DC Online, he's literally like your mentor, like kind of talking in your ear, which is super cool.
Is he voiced in the actual game part itself?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Nice.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, the missions you get, it's Kevin Conroy coming up in your walkie-talkie saying the Joker...
I feel like that's got to be... Not that it's phoned in, but I feel like that's got to be less involved than necessarily like Injustice, where he's like acting toward another actor.
Of course. Yeah, I'm sure it's not as... But to me, it was like such a coolness factor. So yeah, it's not the best performance, I guess. But I don't think it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's... Yeah, it might not be. I'd have to listen to it again. I'd have to listen to it again. But yeah, we can get rid of that. I just thought it was really cool and wanted to bring it up.
So then... In that regard, we have 3 on the list. So we have Batman the Animated Series, Justice League, and Arkham City on the list.
Oh, I thought Mask of Phantasm was on
I just want to... It's about to be in 1 second here.
Right.
Are we good taking Injustice 2 off?
Over
Batman Beyond?
Ooh, that's tough. Injustice 2 versus Batman Beyond. Now, that's the tough thing. Batman Beyond is great because it's a different perspective that we've never seen before.
It's a different performance.
It's a different performance, and he kills it. It's a great performance.
Where in Justice 2, he's essentially Arkham City Batman.
Yeah.
But Arkham City, I think, is just a better range.
I like that argument. Let's keep Batman Beyond on. I like that.
Okay.
Because I like having the diversity.
So on the list, because I know we're way out of time, we have Batman the Animated Series, Mask of the Phantasm,
Yep.
Batman Beyond, Justice League, Arkham City. Are we saying Batman Beyond number 5?
Yeah, I'd put Batman Beyond 5. I'm happy that it made it. I think you need to respect that performance, man. It's so cool seeing him in a different way. Right?
Yeah, right.
So
right.
so good too. Such a deep voice.
Here's something crazy.
All right, here it comes.
What if Batman animated series
Was 4?
was 4?
Can I put Justice League above Batman the Animated Series, though?
I was trying to do you a solid. Obviously, for me,
Look,
I wouldn't.
I love Justice League more than Batman the Animated Series. But is his performance better? I think it's comparable. I think it's cool seeing him interact with the other heroes, but I think there's something special about the original, right? So to me, I'd put Justice League 4 and then Batman the Animated Series 3. You think that's better than Arkham? Or Arkham is better than the animated series?
I thought Arkham was... that's tough. I think Arkham is good because you get to do some things you couldn't in the show.
Right.
Because it kind of unlocks some of the stuff as far as like range and like, you know, you can be a little bit more angry. You can be a little bit more violent and like his sarcasm I thought was better. So it's just like, tell me where he's at or I'll break the other one. He's like, what do you mean? And then he breaks his arm and stuff. And it's just like, you can't get that in the animated series. Right. So like there was some cheeky stuff, but it was still way tamer than Arkham. So while that is the first one, I feel like unleashing Kevin Conroy to do a fuller range, that's why I personally would put Arkham City over Batman the Animated Series. Now, I'm sure once I watch him again, I'll be like, oh, I messed up, right? Because over the course of the entire series, he gets to interact with a lot of characters. I just feel like, if I'm remembering correctly, his interactions aren't like, there isn't a super wide range in like a 20-minute episode.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah, no, I agree.
Where with like Arkham City, you feel him wearing down. You feel him getting angrier. You feel like, you know, frustration and all the that kind of rage. So
with that being said, how do you compare Arkham to Mask of the Phantasm?
So specifically with that, while I think Arkham City gives you an unlocked version, and I like that.
Yeah.
The beauty of Mask of the Phantasm is you get to see multiple ages and you get to see other emotions. Where Arkham City, I would argue that while there you get colors and variations of like frustration and anger and that sort of thing, he's still within a specific range.
Yeah.
Where, again, my argument for Mask of the Phantasm is like, hey, let's see Batman as Bruce Wayne, early years, how he interacts with Alfred back then to now, how Alfred raises him, how he is evolving, how, you know, I forget what's her name, like his love interest and everything, and how, again, how he deals with loss, how he deals with his family, how he deals with like all these different things. I just think Mask of the Phantasm, if you're talking about specifically a Batman performance, it is tight and arguably perfect.
Yeah. No, I can't argue with that. I can't say anything.
I don't want to feel like I'm bullying you, but that would be my interpretation.
I came into this knowing that this is really. I love Batman.
Yeah,
and I love these performances. But this is really your list, man. This is you. So couldn't have said it better myself. I am good with Arkham 2 and Mask of the Phantasm 1. And really, only a true Batman fan would have the guts to put that one over just automatically putting the original series one.
I'm sure now, with this unfortunate passing, that's making me want to go back and watch them.
Yeah. And
maybe I'll be like kicking myself here in a little bit, but
you got to trust your gut, man.
Mask of the Phantasm it stars Batman. And I understand it's weird because like Batman's in all of them and stuff, and he's always in front of his computer doing these different things, but like it's not the first time it did it, but it really explores him and his psyche and in this. It's beyond just there's a villain, I have 20 minutes to stop him.
Yeah,
right. It's like, I have 90 minutes this time. And it's just like, it is this mystery and him kind of solving it. You get, just a better range.
No, I like how you framed all of that. I think it's really well done. So run us through our list.
Yeah, let's chisel it in here. So number 5 is Batman Beyond. Number 4 is The Justice League. Number 3 is Batman, the Animated Series. Number 2, Arkham City. And number 1, I guess it's called Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes. There it is. That's our top 5. Kevin Conroy.
Legend.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Some sad news today, so we tried to honor him with something we know. I
legit
best,
teared up when I was trying to explain to Chelsea, like, oh, hey, Kevin Conroy died, and I don't think she knew who you. And I was just like, yeah, this is Batman. And like, I was like, visibly upset.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like, I mean, that's I don't know.
You said it earlier today when we were texting. We'll never hear a new.
Yeah, like Batman in the back of my mind, it's like, and I guess to some extent, maybe we will still in the Suicide Squad game. Like in the back of my mind, there's always like, oh, I'd love to just hear a little like an Easter egg or something because Rocksteady is like doing that, and then like, what's their next one? Are they going to do like a Batman 4?
Yeah,
and like that's when I choked. Where I'm just like, oh, like, nope. Like, yeah, like they could get somebody. And like there are plenty of other good, decent Batman voices out there, but it's not him. And it's like, that sucks.
I even watched the cutscene to Arkham Knights.
Yeah.
And it wasn't him. And I was like, it's not my Batman. Which sucks because the guy did great, but.
Yeah. And whoever I forget the guy that they got for Origin, which at the time I was the gamer that was like, this is garbage.
Yep.
He was like good. And in some ways, I'm like, I actually really dig this Bat. Like, he's like super gruff and young, and I'm just like, it's all marketing spin because they were working on Arkham Knight during this,
right?
But I was like, I could see the argument that he's like, it's just a younger Batman, different story. But I digress. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's what we got. A little heavy at the end there, but
what a great guy.
Necessary. So. Thank you for listening. I know this one went pretty long, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So timestamps always in the description. And
if you got this far, you're past the timestamp.
I know, just for future reference if you didn't realize.
I'm going to make a timestamp of you talking about timestamps.
That's Inception.
That's the meta,
yeah. Check us out on couchcompany.games. All of our links are there. Give us 5 stars on Spotify. Check out our YouTube as well. So that's all the links are on couchcompany.games. And check us out at CouchCoGames, which is our YouTube and also our Twitter. We put up polls there.
Now.
Yeah. I think I'm going to put up while we're out eating, I'm going to put up a poll. I have one in mind. So,
okay.
Thanks for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. Peace.